We welcome you to the first full week of spring training in the Sunshine State. West Palm Beach, Florida, the site today for the Houston Astros taking on the Washington Nationals. Two teams that share the same complex. Today, the Astros will be the home team after they were the visitors on Tuesday. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. We'll hear from Julia Morales in just a little while. Blummer, when you look at these first three games, today the third of our three consecutive telecasts, still looking for that first W here in West Palm Beach for the Astros.
I know. They're trying to break this place in a little bit, break that seal, start that winning, but it's early in spring. They're probably a little too comfortable in the confines in there, but they'll eventually bring that A game out here.
Speaking of the word comfort, I think that's an area that A.J. Hinch is looking for Yuli Gurriel to get comfortable at first base this spring.
Yeah, last year we had a chance to see Yuli at first base when he moved over there. That was really the first time he made that transition from third base to first base, but I think it's a credit to the athleticism of Yuli Gurriel, but that's obviously a bat that A.J. Hinch wants to have in that lineup. It's just a matter of him going over there this spring, getting the reps, getting comfortable, because it's a completely different angle on that side of the diamond, and you're also receiving throws from a bunch of different guys across the diamond. He may not be happy with it, but he has to understand having Alex Bregman over there at third base is a huge bonus to this lineup.
Gurriel in there today. We will bring you the starting lineups in the first pitch. Brad Peacock on the mound for the Astros this afternoon, making his second start of the spring. We will hear from the general manager, Jeff Luhnow, and the manager, A.J. Hinch, during the course of our broadcast. First pitch right around the corner on Root Sports.
Listen up, team.
Astros baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Whataburger. Whataburger's Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich has returned, but only for a limited time. Turned out to be a beautiful Thursday afternoon here on the east coast of Florida, West Palm Beach. Astros getting ready to host the Nationals. Time to welcome in the third member of our broadcast team. Going to be hard to top what she did yesterday, but I know she'll give her best effort, Julia Morales.
I will. Thanks a lot, guys. You know, talking to these guys about a week ago about the 2017 season, what did they learn from last year they can take over? Well, in 2016, of course, not getting to where they wanted to be, the guys that were on this club. And a lot of that had to do with injuries. That happens to every club, but especially in the starting rotation for these Houston Astros. They had several guys step up and help them late in the year, including Brad Peacock, who will be going today. But A.J. Hinch even said, you know, one thing we did learn last year, good teams don't need just 5 guys. Sometimes it's 7, 8, 9, even 12 starting pitchers throughout the season. So many things can happen. It is a long year. So who will help the club out this year? That's one of the questions that is going on in the dugout as they get ready to go today. But Brad Peacock, little different situation with him as this team will have to make a decision by the end of spring training on whether he'll be with this club or not. So a lot riding for Brad Peacock, a lot of eyes on him, not only with the Astros, but maybe around the league as well, Todd.
All right, Julia, we will watch him and watch the rest of the camp to see how this final 25-man roster shapes up for the Washington Nationals. And Jeff, as we get ready for baseball today, we see the Nationals back in, and this will be the team the Astros see the most, really. They share the complex, and they'll see them as much as anybody this spring. And it's a pretty good team to have in your complex because they'll give you a battle with the players they have in their dugout.
No, I think it's great, too, that they matched up with a National League team. We know that the Astros have been in the American League now for 4 years. This will be their 5th year going, but it's nice to have somebody in your complex that you can play frequently and not get sick and tired of or create that animosity that you're going to have to see during the season. So they have the opportunity to basically split this complex between these guys and play a lot of home games, even though they may be technically road. It's great for the players. It's great for the fans to be able to come down and see these two ball clubs as frequently as they can.
Dusty Baker bringing his team onto the field to hit. They will be the visitors today. Dusty coming off a season in which his team won 95 games, tied for the second most in Major League Baseball behind only the Cubs. And the team that they will face, the pitcher that they will face, is the right-hander, 29-year-old Brad Peacock.
Brad Peacock, a familiar face, came over from the Oakland Athletics organization and has pitched a game already this season for the Houston Astros, going 2 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 punch out against the Detroit Tigers, but he's in a unique situation where he is pitching to stay in this organization, or he's pitching to impress some of the scouts that are in the stands. He has a 4-pitch mix, fastball, slider, curveball, the occasional changeup. He'll average around 92 miles an hour, has a very good arm, but sometimes is a little tentative when he gets to his slider to put guys away. And in being tentative, sometimes flutters up out over the zone and creates some firm contact. His goal this spring training is to impress, but also to miss barrels.
He threw that slider a lot more last year than he had in years past. Over 30% of his pitches were that slider, especially against right-hand hitters. As we look, he'll face a right-hand hitter for the first batter of the game, Trey Turner. Then you have 3 consecutive lefties: Adam Eaton, Daniel Murphy, and Bryce Harper. Anthony Rendon, Jason Worth, Neftali Soto, Jose Lobaton, and Clint Robinson round out your starting lineup for the Washington Nationals. We thought there might be rain in the forecast, still a possibility for a late afternoon thunderstorm, but this is by far a better day than anybody expected as recently as last night here in West Palm Beach. And we're underway for game number 3 in the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. The Astros still looking for their first win in this stadium. Trey Turner takes the first pitch for a called strike. Turner came over to the Washington Nationals as part of a 3-team trade. The key components of that trade, in addition to Turner, were Will Myers going to the San Diego Padres and Steven Souza Jr. from the Nationals to the Tampa Bay Rays.
Come on, Trey, hit the ball, baby.
There's a called strike on the outer half. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jerry Meals behind the dish today. Angel Hernandez, Ryan Addington, and Nick Marley are on the bases.
Really like this Trey Turner kid. Highly athletic, electric on the base paths. A little bit of a slender frame, but creates all kinds of leverage to create pop at home plate. Fun kid to watch.
He is really a rising star, and he will be fun to watch for the Washington Nationals fans for sure this year. Even though it's a home game for the Astros, split crowd today. West Palm Beach is kind of divided up between the National fans and the Astro fans. So you will hear cheers for both sides when a run is scored. Ball is hit well into right center field, and the wind is carrying that way today, and it's off the wall. Turner cruises into second with a stand-up double. Past 2 days, Blummer, it's been a prevailing wind to left, but today left-hand hitters may have an advantage because it looks like it's going out to right field.
Yeah, the wind has really wreaked havoc on fly balls out there, but this is just a hanging changeup on the outside corner, a gift for Trey Turner. When you get into 2 strikes and you see a ball elevated for that long, stays on it nicely, drives it the other way.
Leadoff double for the Nationals. The Astros in our first 2 telecasts of the spring have allowed a run in the first in each of those 2 games, the 2 games played at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Astros in a unique shift, and now they're going to move the shortstop Alex Bregman to the third base side of second. Initially, they had 3 on the right side, and then third baseman J.D. Davis covering the bag with a runner on second base.
That is quickly becoming a trademark of Houston Astro baseball to play the percentages and move guys around. And it is Adam Eaton's job right now to get the ball on the right side of the infield to move Trey Turner to third. But he's got other ideas of getting there.
Turner thought about stealing, and Peacock had not yet delivered the pitch and just stepped off the rubber. Turner was almost caught in no man's land.
It's a nice top of the lineup for Dusty.
Ooh. Eaton is kind of the guy that they're trying to figure out where to hit him in the lineup. He came over in the offseason, big trade from the Chicago White Sox. They really expect him to do his thing in center field, and they're not sure whether to bat him in the 2 spot where he is today, because there are lefties behind him in Daniel Murphy and Bryce Harper, or further down in the lineup, 6 spot. We saw him on Tuesday, so you don't have 3 consecutive lefties.
Well, on the other side, you look at A.J. Hinch's lineup. He's not afraid to go with the first 4 guys right-handed, so I'm not sure if Dusty's going to steal a page out of that and say, forget it. I like the way the matchups go, and I like the situations these guys are being put in. But this guy right here, Adam Eaton, is a disruptor.
There goes the runner, Turner, 3-0 pitch. The throw is not in time, and Turner has a stolen base. Juan Centeno is the catcher today for the Astros. Pretty good jump by Turner.
Little shuffle, then go, peek in. You better be 100% sure if you're stealing third base with a left-handed hitter up there, because it's such an easy throwing lane for the catcher.
Infield comes in for this 3-1 pitch to Eaton, and he sends it in the air. Carrying a little bit. George Springer shading his eyes, makes the play, but this will be an easy run for the Nationals on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Adam Eaton. So as you look at today's game, Blummer, what are your Toyota keys to today?
One of them is going to be one you're going to see throughout the course of this spring training is stay healthy. You just get through spring training and be healthy. But the other one is stretch it out. Brad Peacock going for one of those starting parts of that rotation. He is starting to stretch it out. Each start he goes, he's probably going to add a couple more pitches to that pitch count. And for these younger guys, we have a little bit more of the younger minor league contingent over here. Make them remember your name. That could be good or bad, but you want to make them remember your name, hopefully in a good way.
Daniel Murphy swings at the first pitch and grounds one to the right side where Jose Altuve makes the play, and there's 2 away. Peacock making his second start of the spring. Mentioned he pitched a couple of innings in the very first spring training game of this 2017 campaign. Pitched 2 innings, did not allow a run against the Tigers in Lakeland. Getting his first start on the home mound today. And now he'll face Bryce Harper. Called strike, gets away from Centeno. It's 0-1. Harper 3 for 7 in the early part of the spring, including a double. Also has a home run. One of 10 home runs hit by the Washington Nationals in their first 5 games.
So look at Brad Peacock's pitch selection between 2015 and 16. He's constantly trying to make adjustments. You can see that the secondary pitches weren't all that great for him in 2005. Really made the adjustment with Brent Strom on that slider, got more confident with it, and decided to throw it a lot more often. You can see going from 17.6% up over 30%.
And he's a guy who said after his first start, he's going to be asked about it all spring. He's trying not to think about it. But at this stage of your career, he's 29 years old. It's right there in front of you.
Well, and he's got parts of 5 years in the big league, so he's had a taste. Now he's got to figure out a way to stick.
This is an original Washington National. Brad Peacock, he was drafted by the Nationals back in the June 2006 draft. Went all the way through their system and made his major league debut with the Nationals in 2011. Came in a home game against the LA Dodgers on September 6th. And then he was traded to the Oakland A's and did not pitch at the major league level for the A's, but spent a year at Sacramento in the AAA Pacific Coast League. Following that season, the Astros showed some interest, and he was acquired from Oakland along with Chris Carter and Max Stassi in that trade for Jed Lowry and Fernando Rodriguez. That was leading into the 2013 season, and since then Brad Peacock has pitched at least in every season for the Astros at the big league level, although he only appeared in one game in 2015 due to injury.
Wow.
Last year spent 22 games with Fresno and 10 with the Houston Astros, made 5 starts at the big league level and 21 at the AAA level. Harper on first, being checked a couple of times. And the first pitch to Anthony Rendon is hit into right center field. Springer over to cut it off, does so nicely, holding Rendon to a single. His throw back in the infield gets away momentarily, but no advancement. And now it's first and third for the Nationals.
Not the start that Brad Peacock is looking for. Pretty good job by George Springer. Going over there to cut that ball off. A little bit of an errant throw, trying to dress it up and get the ball back in a little bit early, but still able to keep the runners from advancing.
See Rendon, Rice University Al. Base hit to right center field his first time up. If Brad Peacock was observant and was looking at the lineup yesterday for the Nationals in their game in Lakeland, he probably knew I'm in trouble today because there was not one regular in that lineup. And today he gets Turner, Eaton, Murphy, Harper, Rondon, and now this guy, Jason Worth. He gets all the big boys this afternoon.
Dusty's got to take care of those veteran guys.
How did that work? Did you have?
They catered. Big league managers cater to those starting 9.
Yeah.
And I was okay with it. Good fastball. First pitch was a slider, but you could see the location was not ideal for Brad Peacock. Maybe got away with one. But yeah, managers know that. You have conversations individually, what road trips you want to go on, how often you want to play, kind of thing. There are those conversations going on, especially in the first 3-4 weeks of spring.
Slider away. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You talk to a lot of players these days, especially on the position player side, maybe 60 to 70 ABs before they feel they're ready to break camp. Those two guys have seen plenty of spring trainings.
How about that? A little knowledge in that dugout. There's a ball hammered to left field by Jason Worth. Fair or foul, it is off the foul pole, and that is a 3-run home run by the designated hitter for the Washington Nationals, Jason Worth. And quickly, the Nationals are out to a 4-0 lead. Only the second game Worth played in his 3rd at bat of the season this spring, and he picks up his first hit. It's a home run.
Was the cement mixer right up out over the plate for Jason Worth to jump all over, and another 2-strike hit given up by Brad Peacock, unable to finish off hitters. And this spring on a whole has not been good for Astros pitching from what we've seen in the last 2-3 games.
Yesterday was a 9-5 loss to the Miami Marlins. Game 1 in our television schedule was on Tuesday when the Nationals walked it off against Houston on a Michael Taylor home run. 4-3 was that final. But overall, when you look at the total home runs being hit, Astros pitching has allowed 12 home runs this year, and they only have 3 home runs offensively. Ahead 0-2 to Neftali Soto, misses with that slider. It's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Soto getting a chance to start at first base today. And now the pitch count for Peacock starting to run a little bit higher than he would like, or probably anybody else in that Astros dugout would like. We're up to 26 pitches in inning number 1. Ground ball towards third. Backhanded by J.D. Davis. Throw across. That'll do it. But the Nationals put a 4 spot up in the first inning, including a 3-run home run by Jason Worth. And they lead 4-0 heading to the bottom of the first. 4-0. Nationals jumping out on top of the Houston Astros. Time to look at the Stros lineup today, sent out there by A.J. Hinch. And it begins with George Springer. Leading off in center field, Alex Bregman will play shortstop. Jose Altuve is at second base. Carlos Beltran is the designated hitter. Josh Reddick in right field. Yuli Gurriel playing at first base. J.D. Davis at third. Juan Centennial is the catcher. Jake Marisnick is in left. And they will face the right-hander, Kyle McCowan.
Tall, lanky right-hander, Kyle McGowan, going out there. Came over from the Los Angeles Angels in a trade that sent Austin Adams and Danny Espinosa over to the Angels. Made 22 starts in AAA last season, 27 overall in the minor leagues for the Los Angeles Angels, which continues to give me a rough time trying to understand that. 20 home runs in those 142 innings, 130 punch-outs. Astros have seen him once already this spring.
So McGowan will get to face George Springer to start this game. Fastball in the high 80s into the low 90s. Also a slider and a changeup. And the first pitch is that fastball. It rides inside at 90 miles an hour to Springer, 1-0. George still looking for his first hit of the spring and had a rather interesting interview with Julia yesterday during our telecast.
He is so good.
That could be the first hit for Springer this spring, and it is. One hops off the fence, George Springer into second base with a rocket double to right center field.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time before these bats get going. And it's a luxury, too, for these Houston Astro pitchers, knowing that they can get roughed up a little bit early on. You don't want to put too much pressure on the offense too often, but they do have the capability, if they have all 9 of their guys going, to score a ton of runs. I think they're going to do well in the American League, possibly lead in runs and home runs, just because 1 through 9, they create issues with base runners and the ability to drive the ball out of the ballpark.
Alex Bregman, the hitter, he gets a start at shortstop today with Carlos Correa getting the day off. A.J. Hinch was asked about Bregman playing at shortstop this season, and certainly he'll get a few games, but the anticipation is Carlos Correa will be in there for almost all of them. And then Bregman's not a bad guy if you need to spot him a day late in the season or give him a breather at certain points during the course of 162 games. McGowan's pitch is inside, gets away from Lobaton, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Did anybody follow up with AJ and ask him if he's comfortable with that combination on the left side?
Yeah, we can ask him later. I think he's pretty good. I think he's pretty good with it. Bregman will finish out this week with the Astros and head down the road to Miami. Get ready for the World Baseball Classic. He and Luke Gregerson, part of Team USA.
The start to Alex Bregman's season or career was not all that great. 1 for 32 in his first 8 games, and he was kind of a little bit lower in the lineup, and it was kind of interesting. When things started going well for him, it was because AJ pulled him in the office and said, look, you're putting the barrel on the ball, you're having great at-bats, I'm going to put you up into that 2-hole. I don't expect anything more or less out of you. I want you to go out there and play your game. And he did, and that's when he really started to go off. Did a good job hitting behind George Springer, was a little more part of the offense, got comfortable, and proved that he is a huge asset in that lineup. There was a lot of question marks about whether or not he was going to be able to play third base at this level, and I think he has exceeded all of our expectations, being a very good third baseman.
Line drive, base hit past the diving Trey Turner. Springer had to hold up. He'll stay at third. First and third for the Astros as Bregman picks up his 3rd hit of the spring and his 11th at bat.
Along with the talent in this lineup, I love that every guy in AJ's lineup is greedy. These guys want to go out there and get their knocks. Good base running by George, freezing on the line drive.
You mentioned that start for Bregman. Obviously, I wasn't here last year, but from what I've heard, you can speak to this, he never really pressed that much during the 1 for 32.
No, there's something different about Alex. He loves the game of baseball. He wants to go out there and play every day, but there's a little bit of an edge and arrogance about him that he has, and it's that desire to be successful at this level. So he just kept grinding through it, and like I said, he was still having good at-bats, making good hard outs, wasn't punching out a lot. And I think AJ saw that too when he moved him back up into the 2-hole. He all of a sudden just decided that this is where I'm comfortable and I'm going to help the team contribute. And it doesn't hurt to have confidence from your manager.
Right. Jose Altuve a chance to pick up his second RBI of the spring. 1 for 4 early on for Jose. Takes a called strike, and McGowan ahead 0-2. Astros trying to get a few back in this inning after giving up 4 in the top half. See Altuve coming off a career high in home runs and RBIs. A little bit high, 1-2. McGowan thought he had struck out Bregman on a 1-2 pitch, and he thought that one was pretty close to Altuve, but just a little high. Springer at third. Bregman at first.
This might be the easiest strike zone for Jerry Meals to call.
And as Jerry stands up, you can see what Blummer's talking about. 1-2 the count. Altuve stays alive. There's Jerry Meals.
You know what's great about spring training is you say, oh, I'm going to go in here and work on going the other way. And then you find yourself in a first and third situation and you throw that out the window. I'm going to drive this runner in.
Pulled on the third base side. Springer's in trouble, and he'll be tagged out by Anthony Rendon. Springer caught off third on what turns out to be a fielder's choice for the first out of the inning.
I don't think there could have been a worse place for this ground ball to go. Unless it was a shot up the middle and turned into a double play. But right here, George Springer caught in no man's land because the ball, number one, wasn't hit very hard, and he wasn't sure where Rendon was playing. Really had to just take a chance right there. But again, the one out is better than a double play.
I've got to think that's a tough read for a runner.
Oh, absolutely.
Because your first instinct is not to go back to the bag on a ground ball.
Yeah, and as you can see right there, as soon as George looked back, Rendon was right there waiting with the baseball, and that makes it that much worse.
Here's Carlos Beltran. See his numbers last year with those 29 home runs, 93 runs batted in. Switch hitter, already 2 for 3 on the spring with a home run. Ian Carlos Correa be playing up until Saturday and then head out of the West Palm Beach area and get ready for their World Baseball Classic. You mentioned at bats and wanting to accomplish things early in the spring, and switch hitter like Carlos Beltran. Were there springs when you would go a number of games and only hit from one side just because the pitchers you saw?
Yeah, no, that would happen a lot. It happens a lot more throughout the course of the season. There's really nothing you can do about it throughout the course of the season. But here in spring training, it's a little more unique where, you know, especially when the minor league camps come in, and you can go out and face some of those minor league guys that are facing, you know, throwing left-handed to get more right-handed ABs. So there's ways to offset that during spring training, but it's really tough during the season because you will find stretches. There was even a stretch last year. I believe the Astros saw 4 or 5 straight left-handed starters. So some of those predominantly left-handed hitters didn't really have a chance to get into ball games, and it makes it tough. But you do find yourselves kind of, you find your way into a slump because you haven't hit from that side of the plate. There's also times I've slumped on one side and been so thankful to switch and go to the other side and face another arm.
Just a different look.
Yes.
McGowan ahead of Beltran 1-2. Threw him a good changeup on that 1-1 pitch. Carlos tries to hold up, and he does. Counts 2-2 on the Astros designated hitter. Beltran had a chance to play left field in yesterday's game. Carlos primarily a right fielder more recently, and then earlier in his career in center field. Hadn't played a lot of left field. Of course, he got tested with a line drive and a foul ball down the line in the very first inning. Made a good play on the foul ball down the line. Couldn't catch up to the line drive. Here's a ball in the air down the line in right. Bryce Harper is there, makes the play, tagging is Bregman. Altuve stays at first. Out number 2, runners on the corners.
Now batting right fielder number 22, Josh Reddick.
Good job by Alex, taking that extra 90 feet. Really no reason for Altuve to test Bryce Harper out there in right field. Stays home. He also has the ability to run himself into scoring position for Josh Reddick.
Here is Reddick. First spring camp with the Astros. A.J. Hinch said he told everybody, just be yourself and enjoy being your own personality in the clubhouse. As Altuve goes, no throw. And Jose picks up a stolen base.
Thank you, Jose. I like it when players make me sound like I know what I'm talking about. Pretty good jump, good situation. I like that he ran early in the count, too. Still gives Josh Reddick plenty of pitches to try and drive in these 2 runs with 2 outs.
Pitch in the dirt, and now Reddick ahead 2-0.
And we can talk matchups right here. First base open, yes. And sometimes that might keep the runner at first base, so they have to pitch to Josh Reddick, being the left-handed hitter. But if you do decide to put Josh Reddick on to load the bases, you've got a 35-year-old Cuban who is a professional hitter. And that's the depth that everybody keeps talking about in this Astros lineup.
On the ground right side, the flip to McGowan in time. And Soto to McGowan retires Reddick for the final out of the first. 4-0 Nationals. We head to inning number 2. Nothing. Nationals lead the Astros as we head to the second inning. Create memories, have fun, and catch all the excitement in West Palm Beach as the Astros make the brand new ballpark of the Palm Beaches their spring training home. The site includes many fan-friendly and many state-of-the-art amenities. For tickets and more information, visit astros.com/springtraining. A little different when you have 2 teams in the same complex, and the Nationals and the Astros have attacked it actually in different styles in terms of batting practice on the main field. We have seen in the 2 matchups between these 2 teams Tuesday and now this afternoon, Washington elects to take BP on the field, and A.J. Hitch and his crew like the backfields in their own complex, and so that's where they are. But if you're an Astros fan and you want to check out BP, you're still allowed back there. Just don't anticipate, at least early on, the trend is we won't see the Astros hit on the main field. Springer with the play on Jose Lobaton for the first out. And it's just two different philosophies. It really doesn't matter either way. I think A.J. likes having the extra space up there.
No, I think it has a lot to do with convenience. But if you watch or you show up for BP during the regular season, both teams hitting on one field, there are certain time allotments for both teams, and some guys like hitting early, some guys like hitting late, some guys don't like to be rushed if they're the visiting team. And I think that this is maybe a process where both managers got together and figured out this is going to be better for both of us if one hits on the field, one hits in the back, so we have one set time. The grounds crew, I'm sure, probably appreciates it too, because they only have to set the field, for one round of BP. It allows them a little extra time to prepare and get ready for the game. So it's a pretty fluid thing, but I think that both teams in this complex have earned the right to hit on the backfield for convenience or on the main field. So it's nice to be able to have those options as opposed to having to share the field and really have your timing maybe thrown out of whack.
Pitch misses down low. It's 3-1 now to the number 9 hitter, Clint Robinson.
But there's nothing like hitting on a big league field, whether it's spring or during the regular season, just because it feels that much better when you drive one out of the ballpark during BP.
Ball 4, so Peacock issues a walk. Peacock allowed 3 hits and a walk in the first inning and now issues his second walk. 1 out here in the second. Back to the top of the order we go. And Trey Turner is the hitter for the Nationals.
And once you get to this level, you're going to get your ground balls either way. I know as an infielder, sometimes the infields can be a little bit different from ballpark to ballpark, but at a new complex like this, the surface on the backfields is very similar to the one here on the Big Diamond.
Turner doubled, ended up scoring the first run of the game, stole a base as well. Swings to the first pitch and fouls it back. We mentioned on Tuesday it was a home game for Mike Fiers because he lives down in Deerfield Beach, about 30 minutes away. This is truly a home game for Brad Peacock. He is a West Palm Beach guy. Went to Palm Beach Central High School. It's actually in Wellington, but 10 miles away. Ground ball chopped towards third. Davis to second. Altuve can't make the transfer in time. They get the out at second. He lost the ball on the transfer, and there's 2 away.
Good play by JD. Sure, he knew he wasn't going to turn the double play right here, but a good choice going to second base to get that lead runner. Keep him out of scoring position. Still have the force out at second. But as an infielder in those situations, just make sure that first out. But Altuve always trying to stretch that into a double play. A little quick on the release. Didn't get the handle.
Pickoff attempt nearly gets Turner as he dives back in.
But the downside is Trey Turner's on base.
And he'll have to be watched. Got a good sized lead at first with 2 outs and another check.
Yeah, that lead screams, I'm not scared.
Oh, yeah, right. I've been really better.
As a guy who's played a lot of different positions on the infield for Gurriel, used to being on the other side of the diamond for the most part, what are some of the challenges for him at first this spring?
Well, this is one of them right here. Holding on a base runner is unnatural, and then you have to be 90 feet away from a left-handed hitter. That's probably the toughest issue, and it's the reaction. When you're playing the infield, you're looking at that contact zone, which is maybe at the front of home plate or a little bit out in front because you're anticipating contact as an infielder. And now you're shifting your eyes over to the other, completely other side of the diamond. So the reaction's a little bit different. Pop flies are different, and you're usually putting yourself in a position to make a throw at all other 3 positions. Here at first base, you're not necessarily doing that because you're so close to the bag.
Yeah, I would think this particular setup is one of the more difficult challenges. Like you said, holding the runner, knowing how far to come off the bag, and getting ready because you're really close, a lot closer now than you would be normally to the hitter, and it's a strong left-hand hitter.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty in that is it can ricochet off 4 body parts, and you still have time to step on the bag if you pick it up in time.
Right.
But you know what else is unique about the first base position for the Houston Astros is how often they play in the shift.
There goes the runner from his knees. Centenio's throw not in time, but it was quite a BB. Throwing from his knees. Stolen base number 2 of the game for Trey Turner.
Centennial going with the Benito approach. Good pitch to run on by Trey Turner, but that is a bullet from his knees.
Not a lot of catchers can do what we just saw.
No.
I mean, throw a line drive. Not quite a strike. It was on the third base side, but an impressive display throwing from his knees. And there is a swing and a miss from Adam Eaton, and that'll do it for the Nationals. So a walk and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom half of the second inning as Brad Peacock finishes off the second with his first strikeout of the day.
Bottom of the second here in West Palm Beach, a 4-0 lead for the Nationals over the Astros. And you heard the guys talking about some of the work the Astros do on the backfields, their brand new spring training facility, which the players absolutely love for so many different reasons. One of the reasons, though, they get their work in back there, everything's close, it's easy to get to, but there's so many unique features, including the fields themselves. There's a couple of different fields back there, but one in particular, Field 2, looks a lot like Minute Maid Park back at home, has the exact same dimensions as Minute Maid Park. So these guys can get a feel, these brand new guys to the team can get a feel for what that outfield is going to be like when they get home to Houston. You see the Crawford boxes where it juts out there. Center field right on the money. You know, that change happening this year. It is 409 out there on that field from 436, which was last year. So some of these new outfielders that the Astros have, they will be ready to go when they show up for those exhibition games here in a couple of weeks, guys.
All right, Julia. Not only, as you mentioned, the 27 feet moving in center field, but the nooks and crannies in left center field, to be able to replicate that is nice because you don't see that anywhere else.
No, that's so true. And how about it's great for these players because they'll be able to take BP, take infield, work on relays, which is a big deal when you move into your home ballpark. Now they'll be comfortable when they move into Minute Maid Park because they will have already seen the dimensions. They'll just add some size and context to it when they get back there. I think that's a smart move.
There is Field 2.
Looks like you could play arena baseball in there with the nets that high.
Right. Yuli Gurriel, the hitter, to lead off the bottom half of the second inning, down in the count 0-2. Kyle McGowan allowed a couple of base hits to the Astros, but worked out of a first and third no-out situation in the bottom half of inning number 1. There's a line drive, one hop by Daniel Murphy, and he'll make the play. Nicely done by the Nationals second baseman.
That ball may have caught Murphy as opposed to the other way around. It was a seed.
You said as a veteran that was your favorite out.
Oh, that was beautiful. 2 strikes, you barrel it up, hit a rocket right at somebody, leisurely jog down to first, and you come back. Man, you really hit that ball hard. Thanks, guys. You know, that was really, that was a good AB. And it doesn't affect your batting average whatsoever. You do that in August, you're not happy.
Much better in March 2nd than August 2nd for sure. Here's J.D. Davis getting a start today at third base. J.D. 2 for 5 this spring thus far. The Astros, as we mentioned, only with 3 home runs thus far. Carlos Beltran hit the first in this ballpark, at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. First home run of the spring came off the bat of Max Stassi. Here's a ball ripped past the diving Rendon into left field. J.D. Davis has the Astros' 3rd hit.
Somebody's feeling it. It's that kid right there, J.D. Davis. Buggy whipping this one past Rendon. Nice, make that statement early. I told you, make them remember your name.
Make them remember your name. That was one of the keys to the game. Brought to you by Toyota from Blummer. J.D. Davis out to a 3 for 6 start. 3rd home run, we were talking about the home runs, hit by A.J. Reed in yesterday's game against the Marlins. Here's a ball into the air, but playable. Adam Eaton will drift back towards the track and make the play. So Juan Centeno flies out on the first pitch he sees. 2 away here in the bottom half of the 2nd inning.
Now batting left fielder number 6, Jake Marisnick.
2 outs, runner on first. Jake Marisnick is the hitter. We will be joined by the general manager of the Houston Astros, Jeff Luhnow. Expected to join us in the next half inning, top half of the 3rd. Pitch down low to Marisnick, 1-0. One of your other keys was get stretched out, and we have seen Peacock throw a number of pitches through 2 innings and no bullpen action. So we expect to see Brad Peacock out for inning number 3 as well. We'll have to keep an eye on that bullpen because it will dwindle as the day goes along, but right now it is jammed up out there. Here's a fly ball shallow center. Adam Eaton eases in and makes the play, and that'll do it for the Astros. So 3 hits for each side. However, the Nationals lead the Stros 4-0 after 2. Nationals scored 4 in the first. We're joined by the general manager, Jeff Luhnow, right now. Jeff, first impressions, and we've talked to almost everybody, even people not associated with the Astros or Nationals, very excited about this new complex.
Well, first, it's great to have baseball back, and to be able to play baseball in an environment like this with beautiful new stadium, beautiful new complex, it's really amazing. Everybody's happy.
Give us an idea of how your offseason was. We know you were pretty busy, but was that your intention in the offseason going in there to make those acquisitions, and are you happy with them?
I'm extremely delighted with the acquisitions we made. We were very aggressive early in the offseason. I mean, really, if you think about it, our offseason started when we signed Yuli Gurriel last year, and we got all of our other shopping lists essentially done before the winter meetings, which is very unusual, but it's because we knew what we wanted. We targeted very specific players. We went after them aggressively early in the offseason, and we got the deals done. So thanks to Jim Crane and the ownership group for giving us the resources, and our scouts for identifying the right players. And so far, it looks like a really good group.
We've talked about the potential for this offense, and it could be one of the best in baseball. But I think in addition to that, you have added depth now to your organization that maybe is stronger than we've seen in a number of years.
we do have depth, and it's not just, we don't talk about minor league depth, we talk about depth at the major league level. And I think the number of lineups, AJ's run out a lot of lineups out there in the last few years. This year he may break a record. We have righties, we have lefties, we've got players that play multiple positions. And all of that gives AJ opportunity to do a lot of things to make sure that we have the best chance to win every game.
Jose Altuve stays in there and makes the play on Daniel Murphy for the first out.
And the back part of your rotation is going to be interesting, too. You signed Charlie Morton to a 2-year deal, and the guy on the mound today, and Brad Peacock, is out of options. If you could do us a little bit of a favor, and maybe fans at home, explain the options situation and how that affects Brad Peacock.
It's very similar to a situation we had last year with Dan Straley. He was out of options, and so if he wasn't going to make our club, we would have to offer him to the other 29 clubs, and we knew he would get taken. So we ended up making a trade for him. And I think it's always a tough situation for a general manager and for a team manager to decide, do we put this guy on the team even though he may not be one of the best 25 because he's out of options and we don't want to lose him, or do we risk running him through options? And really at this point, it's too early to really talk about that. Peacock's going to get a great opportunity to pitch all spring. We've got other guys that are out of options. Fires is out of options. Obviously, he's going to be on our team. He's signed to a big contract. And Kevin Chapman's also out of options. So as we get down to the last week of spring training, you'll see a lot of activity. Trades will be made. Players will be run through waivers, and then ultimately we'll take the best 25 with us.
Yeah, and that has to be, as you said, one of the more difficult juggling acts, because you are trying to present your best 25, but you're also trying to protect assets you have too.
Exactly, and Brad Peacock with options would probably go up and down all year and really help our club. Without options, he has to stay on the big league club all year, or we risk losing him. It's similar to a Rule 5 player in that regard. But at the same time, you're right. We want to make sure that we have the depth organizationally. But we've got some other guys in our minor league system at the top of the system in AAA and guys in camp that can fit the bill. So Brad's got to compete for that job. I think he will. I think he's very capable of winning a spot either in our rotation or as a long man.
I'm glad you kind of hinted at it, because we had a chance to see Francis Martes yesterday. What did you think of his appearance? His arm looks great.
I liked what I saw yesterday. He was facing some good hitters out there, and he showed his full repertoire. And what we don't realize is it's a biggest step you take is from AAA to the big leagues, and Francis hasn't even been at AAA yet, so he's not quite ready. But I think we all saw what gets us so excited about him and why he's ranked one of our top prospects, and why other clubs constantly ask about him whenever we talk about trades.
Those have got to be interesting phone calls for you, because you've worked so hard to accrue so much talent that when they find out the Astros are in the market for a trade, that has got to be just a huge laundry list of names, right?
Well, the interesting thing is that depending upon the club, they usually hit on different names, which means that we've got almost a portfolio of players that there's somebody they're going to like in there, which allows us to do a lot of deals. But also, we've spent the last 6 years building up a tremendous system, and Baseball America just ranked us number 3 out of 30 clubs. For a team that's contending to have a top 5 farm system is really a great opportunity for a general manager.
Fly ball deep to left field, and Jake Marisnick can't make the play. It is a home run, says Angel Hernandez. Springer plays it back in. Marisnick couldn't make the catch. And George Springer is claiming that ball stayed in.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that. We saw this a couple years ago at Kauffman Field in Kansas City, where the player went up to try and make the play, kept it in the ballpark, and it rolled across the top of the wall, not going into the stands. And this one looked like Jake hit off the glove, rolled on top of the wall, and stayed in play. I'm not sure how the ruling would be a home run.
Springer's trying to get an explanation.
Jeff, what do you think?
Well, I think if we had replay, we could look at it.
Yeah.
This is spring training. It did look to me like it rolled along the top, but there may be a rail there or something that it touched.
Again, new ballpark. There is a little bit of a fence and railing that Jeff is talking about back there. This should be a pretty good look if we watch Jake elevate, and it looks like it hits the top of the wall for me.
Oh, yeah.
Stays in.
That could have been overturned if this was a regular season game.
Interesting.
But unfortunately for Brad Peacock and the Astros, it will not be reviewed because it is spring training. And it's a 5-0 game on a home run by Anthony Rendon. Should have been a triple, as it turns out. I know you're a lot of the focus on the offseason moves has been around the offense, but I'm sure, especially considering we didn't see much of Charlie Morton last year due to injury, you're really looking forward to his first start tomorrow.
We are. We watched a lot of video on Charlie. Our major league trainer spent a lot of time with him when they were in Pittsburgh together, and we followed his career. We think that a healthy Charlie Morton could be a big asset to our club and a big boost to our rotation. So we've got different guys that we're going to try and mix into our rotation this year, but it really comes down to, at the end of the day, our Keuchel and McCullers are going to be healthy and pitching well, because if they are, we're going to be in great shape. If they're not, we're going to have to do something either internally or externally to address it.
That's good to hear. And we talked about Francis Martes as one of the younger guys that you're taking a peek at. Is there anybody else in camp that maybe we can kind of key on a little bit, or who you're anxious to watch play a little bit in spring?
I think David Paulino has a chance to be a pretty exciting starter. You know, he was a little bit nervous in his first start at Cleveland last year, and then pitched a little better when we got to LA. And he's got all of the weapons to be a dominant pitcher at the big league level, and it's just a matter of getting a little bit more experience. I also think Brady Rogers has had such a great track record in our minor leagues and in his college career, and has been a little bit overlooked because he's not a dominant stuff type of guy. But, you know, neither was Dallas Keuchel when he came up through our system. And Dallas, I don't think, ever was rated as a top 10 prospect. And yet, you know, he won a Cy Young. So I'm not saying that Brady's going to be right-hand version to Dallas, but those guys that have had success in their careers, maybe it takes them a year or two. It took Dallas a year to get accustomed to the big leagues. And once they get accustomed, that what made them so special in college and the minors starts to shine through again. And I think Brady Rogers has a chance to be one of those guys that gets better and better.
This will be a unique spring for not only yourself, but all the major league teams with the World Baseball Classic. That makes things a little more difficult, although there are a ton of decisions to make for the final 25, but that throws a little wrench in things, right?
It does. You never want to lose 9 players from camp for an extended period of time in a year where you really are intending to compete. But at the same time, these guys are going to have a great opportunity representing their countries, and it's going to give an opportunity for some of the younger players, both in camp and in minor league camp, to come up and fill in and take some innings and some at-bats and show what they've got.
J.D. Davis, bare hand play. Gurriel can't hold on, and living on the drop ball at first base is Neftali Soto, so first and second with 2 outs. Looked like the Astros may have had the out if that throw was held on too cleanly.
Yeah, personally, I was hoping Brad Peacock was able to bounce and make that play, because once it gets past him, it's an extremely tough play for the third baseman. But J.D. Davis, swinging a good bat in spring, made a pretty good play on it. Sometimes when you're charging in and you kind of sling that ball from down in that position, it has a tendency to run up the line.
So 2 outs, 2 on. Brad Peacock is nearing his pitch total for the day. He's up to 58 pitches now. That's the highest total we've seen for anybody so far this spring. Jose Lobato in the batter.
There's a lot of excitement about removing Tal's Hill, and you being on the more baseball end of it with the analytics and things like that. How did you guys feel about that? Did you run any models to see how that's going to affect the ball being in play or out of play at Minute Maid Park?
Yeah, we did look at it a little bit. It's going to be 409 to center field, so it's still going to be a very far hit to get the ball out of center field. The reality is our outfielders are probably, center fielders are going to be able to play a little further in, which is going to take away some singles that would drop in front of them. But, you know, there are going to be some more balls hit out of the ballpark. I think, you know, the removal of Tal's Hill was part baseball, but really it was all about making our center field more accessible area to our fans and improving the overall fan experience. I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be great. Still going to be enough of a pitcher's park that we're not going to scare away any pitchers from signing there. But it'll be exciting.
It is. And the batting eye, just in talking to guys over the years, and I played there too. I don't remember Minute Maid. There's a good picture of it for everybody back home. But I remember when I played there, I didn't have much of an issue with the backdrop that was at Minute Maid originally. But this is going to be an enhancement for these hitters. Have they talked about the excitement of using that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you want to be able to see the ball well coming out of the pitcher's hand. And we made sure that at all angles, righties, lefties against righties, lefties, drop down guys, etc., that you're going to be able to see the ball clearly. But the nice thing is that, like I think Jim talked about yesterday, the sight lines from center field are going to be great. There's going to be some new concessions out there, popular ones, and it's going to be a great place for people to hang out.
Pitch in the dirt. 1-2 the count to Jose Lobaton. How are you enjoying the first spring sharing a complex with the team that's on the field with you today?
I love it. You know, you don't even notice they're around until we play them. We've got our separate spaces, but yet we share this beautiful stadium. And I love being back in this area. I worked for the Cardinals for 9 seasons, and we were right up the road here. And for me, if you're going to be in Florida, you might as well be near the beach.
Exactly. And that's where Brad Peacock grew up, not far from here. And he's working in his 3rd inning. Astros trailing 5-0. Peacock trying to get through the 3rd inning. We're going to see Tony Sipp a little bit later on in this game. Also, Framber Valdez will be one of the pitchers. We've heard good things about this left-hander. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, Framber was signed a little older than most of the Dominican players and didn't get a large bonus, but we love what he's done so far. He's got electric stuff. You'll see him. He's a strong left-handed pitcher, good breaking ball, good fastball. Pitched one really nice inning the other day in Port St. Lucie, and one of the scouts behind me tapped me on the shoulder and said, I don't know who that is, but he looks pretty good. So he's a young guy. He'll be probably a high A and double A, maybe make it up to triple A this year, but certainly a guy that we think has some potential to pitch in the big leagues in the next few years.
We've seen some live arms with Gustave and Goudouin, who found the zone the first outing, couldn't find the zone yesterday. There's some exciting arms down there.
There is. We've got our scouting job. Our scouts have done a tremendous job of bringing us guys that have tools, and then our player development people have refined them and trying to use those weapons to get out. So that's a great combination, and we do seem to have quite a few guys thrown in the mid-90s.
Lobaton stays alive on the 2-2 foul tip. This will almost definitely be Brad Peacock's last hitter, you would think. He's up to 65 pitches, and Lobaton extended the at-bat here.
How do you feel about this pitch count?
Well, I think at some point later in spring training, we're going to have to start piggybacking some starters, because you want to have about 7 or 8 starters ready to go, and we also have to put them in a slot so they can be ready for opening day.
Line drive, Springer with a great diving catch to end the inning. George Springer lays out to end the top half of the 3rd inning and keep this a 5-0 game. Jeff, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks
Appreciate it.
Yeah, guys, appreciate it.
Jeff Luhnow, general manager of the Astros, joining us in the booth. We'll have the bottom half of the 3rd as we see the spectacular catch by Springer to break.
We welcome you back. Bottom 3 here in West Palm Beach, 5-0 Nationals. 2017 Coca-Cola Astros Buddies membership are on sale now for only $25. And Buddies members will receive a voucher for 4 tickets to a select game, front of the line access to Kids Run the Bases, exclusive player autograph sessions, and more. Visit astros.com/buddies for all the details and to purchase a membership for kids up to 12 years old. Todd.
All right, Julia, we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. How about the way the top half of the 3rd inning ended? George Springer with a phenomenal catch in center field. That was a weird inning in that it was a home run that really wasn't a home run, but was ruled a home run by Angel Hernandez, and then Springer finishes it off with a diving catch.
And that's what George does. We have plenty of highlight reels. He is now moving to center field where he is much more comfortable, and obviously when you're playing in the center of the diamond, you have much more room to work with. You don't have to worry about the stands coming in on the foul line. You don't have to worry about players from the infield being too close to you. Just a phenomenal play, and a tribute to his athleticism. He's a lot of fun to watch throughout the course of the season. And now, of course, guess what he's doing?
Leading off
the inning. That's how baseball works.
Guy makes the play, leads off the next inning. He'll face a new pitcher for the Washington Nationals. Austin Adams is in the game. Adams also one of those guys that came over in that trade you mentioned earlier for Danny Espinosa.
Los Angeles Angels of Costa Mesa. Well, it's kind of funny. You were talking about Brad Peacock going to Palm Beach High School.
Yep.
And
Palm
yet
Beach
it was
Central.
Palm Beach Central, which is in Wellington.
Yeah.
It's like saying the Angels are in L.A., right?
It is. That's why you have to say two cities in their name. Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. There are two cities in their name. It's a long one.
It is a good one. And having grown up in Southern California,
Yeah.
it's just foreign to me. I want to call them the California Angels. That's what I grew up with.
Springer doubled to right center field his first time up. He took a healthy cut at that 0-1 pitch and fouled it back. He told Julia yesterday he's going to swing hard in case he hits it.
Worked in the first at bat.
First AP worked out well. Austin Adams, right-hander, delivers 0-2, and Springer checked. Adams was originally drafted back in 2008 by the Milwaukee Brewers as a shortstop, but ended up going back to school and signed with the Indians in 2009. Here's a ball into center field. Eaton is coming on in a hurry, can't get there. George Springer's 2 for 2 on a single to center field. Eaton covers a lot of ground out there in center field, but couldn't quite catch up to that fly ball.
That might have been a reaction on the swing. See if we can see the reaction, the swing, and the first step was back. And again, we talked about how the wind can affect the ball in flight. It can also affect your first step. If your first step with a ball in the air is to anticipate going back because the wind is blowing so hard, things like this can happen where you have a shot drop right in front of you. But you're right, Adam Eaton is a very good outfielder and has extreme range. Just got a bad jump on that one.
Last year in the Fangraphs defensive run save category, he was third behind only Mookie Betts and Kevin Kiermaier. One of the reasons the Nationals were happy to get him. Also, they figured he could help them out probably at the top of the lineup. We had that discussion in the first inning. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman fouls the 1-0 pitch back. It's 1-1. Happy to hear from Jeff Luhnow, general manager of the team. We will hear from the manager of the Astros, A.J. Hinch, a little bit later on. There are some exciting arms.
And I was just going to say, Jeff has got to be awfully proud of what he's done over the last 5 years in accruing the talent. He said he had a game plan, asked the fans to be patient with him, and now these guys are starting to show up in the big leagues. And he's prepared to continue to get young talent to not make this a small window, to make this a very large window where the Astros go out there and compete in the American League West.
And that is a big ask, to have a fan base be patient, because that is not in their nature. And sure enough, everything has followed through, maybe a little bit earlier than originally thought with the 2015 playoffs, as Bregman has the double play turned on him. Trey Turner to Daniel Murphy to Neftali Soto. Nicely done by the middle of the Washington infield. But maybe a little earlier than they originally thought in 2015, but they are poised for some exciting things this season.
Yeah, they are. And it's one thing to ask your fan base to be patient. It's another thing to ask them to endure 100 lost seasons. And that's what they were going through in 2012, 13, 14 before they turned into that playoff team in 2015.
2 outs, nobody on. Jose Altuve, the batter, takes a pitch inside. 93-mile-an-hour fastball from the big right-hander Austin Adams. Altuve bounced into a fielder's choice his first time up. Two 2-0 the count. For Adams, fastball in the low to mid 90s. Also a little slurvy breaking ball, cutter, and a changeup. In the air to right, sends Bryce Harper back in front of the track, but he has a play. And the Nationals right fielder puts it away and gives the souvenir to a young fan on the berm. We are through 3. It is 5-0 in favor of the Nationals. 5-0 Nationals lead the Astros. We head to the top half of the 4th inning. It was a 4-run first and a home run in the 3rd. A couple of home runs in this game for the Nationals. 3-run shot by Jason Worth and a solo home run by Anthony Rendon. Day for Brad Peacock is over. Now they go to the left-hander Tony Sipp.
Tony Sipp got roughed up a little bit last season. I had to double check the numbers. I couldn't believe it was a 4.95 ERA for him last year. Had a tough time. We know a little bit had to do with his off-speed pitches. Usually has a good fastball around 92, 93 miles an hour. But in 2015, the out-pitch for him and really helped him when facing guys from both sides of the plate was the split finger. In 2016, last year, was unable to throw that thing as a put-away pitch, kind of fluttered up out over the zone, threw too many strikes with it, started to get hammered with it, and it just spiraled out of control for him, but they're looking for him to bounce back.
Broken bat as he gets in on Clint Robinson. A little flip from Gurriel, and there's 1 out. So really, to you, that one pitch made a big difference in his season going back to his success the previous years.
Yeah, and you can see right there, he's able to get the fastball in on big league hitters. He can set up inside. You can see where Centeno was. He hit his spot, gets a jam shot from the left fielder, but he was able to locate on the edges on the inside and outside to both lefties and righties. But the equalizer was that split finger. He dangled that pitch right around the bottom part of the zone, and as the swings were starting, it was able to break down and out of the zone and create swings and misses when he needed them. 2016 kind of fluttered a little bit up out over the zone.
Pitch is a called strike, 0-1 to Trey Turner. Turner's been on base a couple of times, has 2 steals, a double, reached on a fielder's choice. And he scored a run. 1 out, nobody on. Tony Sipp in his first full inning of work. Brad Peacock went 3 innings, allowing 5 hits, 5 runs. Although one of them probably shouldn't have come around to score. There's another 3-1, and that time Sipp had to hustle over to get Turner down the line, who was moving 2 away.
Going to focus on Tony Sipp. Did a good job of bouncing off the mound and going over there to make that play, but watch Yuli Gurriel. Again, moving from third base to first base. What I like is he got around the baseball and created a good angle for him to make the scoop and a nice easy flip to Tony Sipp.
That's why you have PFPs.
Man, and spring training is the time to do it. That play should not be messed up in spring training because it is crushed on the backfields. You are doing those day in, day out.
For those who don't know, PFPs are pitchers fielding practice. And if you are a pitcher and you see that on the schedule for the day, it's not your happiest day, but it's part of spring training. And
pitchers actually have to work in spring.
They have to do something other than throw the baseball, which they love.
Or set tee times.
Wow. Coming from a non-pitcher.
Oh, man. I remember I got traded over to Houston in 2002. Jimmy Williams, who came over from the Braves organization. Man, it was Club Med for these starting pitchers. They could set tee times at 11:30, noon, and they would make them have time to go out on the range and hit a couple golf balls to get loose before they went out there. Meanwhile, we had one of our bullpen catchers, Stretch Suba, in a golf cart with a bucket shagging our BP because there was no pitchers.
There you go.
Yeah. Club Med, yeah, they talk about personal hygiene, hair product, how we're going to shave our beards this year. So, it's a tough job.
I like the guys in the bullpen. They're a little flare down the left field line. They're playing them that way. Marisnick can't quite make the play. Jake usually makes the catch if he gets a piece of it, but that time he couldn't quite catch that little flare down the left field line.
Almost looked like he was in between on whether or not to dive. And again, only their 3rd game in this ballpark. The ball slicing off the left-hander's bat away from him, going down the line.
Do you think anybody in the bullpen behind him is saying anything right now?
No. Zero.
There's only about 30 guys back there.
Yeah, I was going to say, take your pick, right?
There are more guys in the bullpen in this game than I've seen in any other game so far this spring. 0-2 pitch fouled away by Eaton. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
You look at it, Todd.
17. 18. Is that it? 18, 19, 20. Now, a couple of them are coaches.
Yeah, CB there on the
There's
right with the
CB.
towel on his shoulder.
Of course, CB is Craig Bjornsson. 20 people in the bullpen. We know not all of those guys will be working in this game. So the key is, if your theory is right, when they start leaving for their tee times.
There is a select few. If you're down in that bullpen right now, you're looking for an opportunity. If you're not in that bullpen, you are making a tee time, and you're going to – I'm hoping they slice it into the water. Hope they chunk a big divot every once in a while. Get buried in a bunker, fried egg or something. Not that I care, but
You are not nice.
I've heard that before.
There's CB.
He's had – I'm not sure how he was on media day this year, but there was I think it was a year ago, he had one of the best profile pics of any player or coach I've ever seen in Major League Baseball. He just had this goofy look on his face. Somebody happened to snap the picture at the right time, and there it was. But if you're hanging out down there, you know as well as I do, you got to be a little off tilt, so to speak.
You have to keep things loose.
Yes.
Because it is a long year, and if you're not a guy who enjoys keeping things loose, it's not fun out there in the bullpen. There's a ball hit well over the head of Reddick against the wall. Adam Eaton's going to go for 3, and he's going to get there standing. Eaton with a 2-out triple. His first hit of the game.
Well, as good as it was for Tony Sipp against the previous hitters right here, left one up, and that's not sure if that was the split or just a hanging slider up out over the plate, but it was drilled directly over the head of Josh Reddick. Kind of fooled him a little bit and carried a lot more than he anticipated.
He couldn't get on top of the slider on the previous pitch, and it looked like that one he may have hung too.
Yeah. And you can do that in spring. If you don't throw the one you want, you can double up and go to it again. But if you don't make a good pitch, that's what big league hitters do, is hit the mistakes.
Fastball in the dirt there, blocked nicely by Juan Centeno with a runner on third and 2 outs. Daniel Murphy, the hitter, he has grounded out to Jose Altuve a couple of times.
And we kind of hinted at it the first time we broadcast here from the ballpark of the Palm Beaches, is how nice it is to be able to watch two very good second basemen between the Nationals and the Astros. Daniel Murphy for the Nationals, strong left-handed hitter competing for batting titles, and there's Jose Altuve. He's got 2 under his belt.
And both these guys looking to get more at-bats this week than maybe they would normally, because they're both playing in the WBC. We saw Murphy in the game Tuesday. He was the last of the regulars to leave the game for the Washington Nationals. Foul ball out of play.
That a kid?
Young fan with a glove in the first row. He was under it the whole time, too.
That was the opposite of our Chiquita Banana guy. Vic, that great play, kid.
Look at him low-key in it, too. No problem.
Here's a beautiful.
Nicely done. Low and inside, and Sipp is falling behind Murphy 3-1.
He's got the spikes on, too.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
You talk about being prepared.
Right from the practice field to the spring training gate.
I love it. He'll be telling all his boys tomorrow.
Ball 4, Sipp loses Murphy. So after 2 outs on a couple of 3-1 first base to pitcher putouts, he is now allowed a triple and a walk, and he'll have to face Mr. Bryce Harper.
It's crazy how baseball works. It is spring training, and Tony Sipp is trying to get his work in here early in spring training. But these are situations that Tony Sipp got through in 2015 to get that 3-year contract. You're going through Adam Eaton, left-handed hitter, Daniel Murphy, left-handed hitter. Now you've got to face Bryce Harper, but these are the situations you signed up for when you throw left-handed. Just amazing how the game can find you, even in spring training.
We got a little bit of insight yesterday from A.J. Hinch, and that Brent Strom's visits aren't always to talk strategy in the spring. It's a lot of times to let somebody get warm in the bullpen, and now Sipp's approaching 20 pitches. So this could be just a little bit of a stall tactic. But at the same time, to your point, this is a fairly interesting sequence of hitters for Sipp to face early this spring.
You want to be in midseason form by the end of spring, but right now you're seeing a midseason situation for Tony Sipp. He was the only left-hander out there in that bullpen for the Houston Astros last year. Talked about Kevin Chapman earlier with Jeff Luhnow, who is another left-hander that the Astros have employed sparingly throughout the years in that bullpen, is out of options.
Fastball inside, 1-0.
Really wasn't a bad location. That was a pretty good pitch.
Harper has walked and struck out. Just misses the inner half. It's 2-0. Getting to a dangerous spot here with Bryce Harper looking to add to this 5-0 lead.
Yeah, there might be a single thought right now in Bryce Harper's mind, and it is elevate and launch.
Now down in the count, 3-0. Sipp has missed with the first 3 offerings to Harper after allowing a walk to Murphy. And A.J. Hinch is wondering, how many more pitches should I allow Sipp in this inning? 3-0 catches the outer half. 3-1 the count. That is ball 4. Cy Snead has been warming up in the Houston bullpen. Not sure if Sipp will see another batter, and he will not. Here comes A.J. Hinch. There's the call for Cy Snead. He will inherit a bases loaded 2-out situation. Sipp, after getting the first 2 he faced, allows a triple and 2 walks to 3 consecutive left-hand hitters, and now it's Cy Snead's turn to work through the final out of the 4th. He'll face Anthony Rendon when we come back.
Hi, I'm Frank. I take Movantik for OIC, opioid-induced constipation.
Nothing Nationals. They are threatening for more with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 4th inning. Coming out of the bullpen to face Anthony Rendon is the right-hander Cy Snead.
Cy Snead finding his way into the Astros organization via the trade for Jonathan VR.
Nice.
I try. Last season at Corpus had 25 games. 21 of them have been starts. 1.29 whip. Getting an opportunity to be seen here early in spring training. Straight over the top.
First spring training for Cy Snead. Mentioned trying to make a name for yourself. He'll get an opportunity here against Rendon. Drafted by the Brewers out of Dallas Baptist.
Maybe a chance at redemption too. Last time he was out, faced the Detroit Tigers on the 25th, went 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, walked 1, had 2 punch outs. But here trying to clean up a mess set up by Tony Sipp.
Rendon's had himself a game already. Single, scored a run. Hit a ball off the top of the wall that in our replay didn't look like it left the yard, but it was ruled a home run by Angel Hernandez. So he's 2 for 2, a couple of runs and an RBI and a home run. And Juan Centeno, before the first pitch, wants to make sure he and Cy are on the same page. A lot to live up to for a pitcher if your name is Cy. Fourth professional season for the right-hander. Second with the Astros. And the first pitch is popped high in the air. Who wants it? The shortstop, Alex Bregman, gives way to Jose Altuve. Altuve puts it away. And Cy Snead on one pitch gets through the fourth inning out of a bases-loaded situation. We head to the bottom of the fourth. The young fan made the play of the inning in the first row. 5-0 Nationals.
With
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Advocare. We build champions. Bottom half of the fourth inning. Astros trailing 5-0. Similar to yesterday, in which the Marlins jumped out early on Houston, and the Astros tried to come from behind in that game, but Marlins kept tacking on runs in that Wednesday 9-5 loss by Houston. The Astros trying to avoid starting the year 0-3 here on their home turf, the ballpark of the Palm Beaches.
They're still drinking in the beauty of this place.
Astros will play the New York Mets following this. This is our final of our 3 consecutive telecasts. We'll take a little time off in the spring and then be with you again on the 17th of March on St. Patty's Day. The Astros will take on the Mets tomorrow in Port St. Lucie, and then back here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches on Saturday. Astros will send Carlos Beltran, Josh Reddick, and Yuli Gurriel to the plate to start the bottom half of the fourth inning. Our next telecast after today will be the Atlanta Braves in town on St. Patrick's Day. 11:30 pregame show, Friday the 17th. So here's Beltran, flied out to right his first time up. Dustin Antolin is the new pitcher for the Washington Nationals, and Beltran takes a called strike. Swing and a miss, 0-2. We have seen the lineup, and obviously you're not going to get the full lineup right away because guys get days off today. We're seeing Carlos Correa get the day off. Brian McCann has felt a little bit under the weather the last 24, 48 hours, so he's had a couple of days off. Beltran goes down on 3 pitches. Quite a start for the big right-hander Dustin Antolin as he picks up a strikeout in the first batter he faces.
That was pretty quick work of a veteran hitter. Antolin, first pitch fastball outside corner, pulled the string on the changeup, and then elevated for the check swing.
But basically, and whatever I was going with that too, is that we haven't seen the full lineup yet, but when we do, it's going to be really interesting to see who hits where. I mean, you've got to think Springer, Bregman, Altuve, Correa. That sounds like something that might happen towards the top of the lineup, but
then you can mix up the protection behind him. Say Yuli Gurriel, maybe 7-8. We talked about Brian McCann possibly being down there. Nori Aoki or Jake Marisnik or whoever's playing left field might be filling up that 9-hole. So you've got that done. But everything else after the 4-hole is interesting because you're going to ask some ex-All-Star players or potential current All-Star players to be hitting 6, 7, 8.
I thought it was interesting when Jeff Luhnow said we may see as many lineups this year as we've ever seen. So he's already predicting that we're going to see a lot of different lineups because there's a lot of flexibility that AJ has to work with his group. Whether it's defensively or where he wants to hit guys in the lineup, you can move guys around and feel pretty comfortable. There's certain guys that'll be in their spots as Reddick sends one towards left field, coming over towards the line to make the play. For out number 2 is Clint Robinson, and there's 2 away here in the bottom half of the 4th inning.
Well, and your bench is getting stronger with these acquisitions, too. Marwin Gonzalez, a utility player forced into an everyday role at first base. Evan Gattis was expected to catch a little bit more with Jason Castro faltering a little bit behind home plate as far as production was concerned. So now you're going to move Gattis into that maybe bench, backup catcher type role. Potential DH every once in a while because Carlos Beltran's going to be DHing most of the time, McCann catching most of the time, but it offers an opportunity for A.J. Hinch to use Marwin all across the diamond to maybe give an Altuve a defensive day off or a Correa a defensive day off just to rest those legs a little bit maybe in the middle part of the season.
Yuli Gurriel fouls one away. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Gurriel, a right-handed hitter. Marwin Gonzalez, a left-handed hitter. Is there a potential platoon at first base?
A lot of interesting combinations for sure. And again, we're going to see a guy like Marwin Gonzalez start to get a lot of playing time beginning next week as Gurriel goes the opposite way to right field past Daniel Murphy. And that is a base hit for the Astros. Houston's had a hit in each of the 4 innings. Still looking for their first run are the Astros.
When I say professional hitter, this is the kind of AB I'm talking about with Yulieski Gurriel. That was a fastball inside, yet he's able to pull his hands inside nicely. And if you can see it, his hands were tracking across the letters on his chest in a nice even plane, allowing him to stay inside that baseball and shoot it the other way.
And Yuli Gurriel's day is over. Ends with a little base hit to right field. He's now 2 for 7 on the young season. Pinch runner is John Kemmer. J.D. Davis is the hitter. J.D. picked up a base hit his first time up to improve to 3 for 6 on the spring. J.D. last year midseason All-Star. In the Texas League. Spent the entire year with the Corpus Christi Hooks. 23 home runs, 81 RBIs following that 101 RBI season with Lancaster in 2015 when he hit 26 home runs.
It's kind of RBI numbers just jump off the page for minor league guys.
You get to triple digits in the minor leagues.
That's doing something. Playing 1 less month down there in the minor leagues and still able to put that big a number up is nice.
Last year, career high in games played, 126, doubles, 34. There's Kemmer at first base, 2-out base runner. Pitches away, 2-2. Antone originally signed by the Blue Jays in the 2008 draft. Been around for a while. Appeared for Toronto last year in 1 game. Pitched a couple of innings. Swing and a miss, and Davis goes down for the final out of the 4th. So a 2-out base hit by Yuli Gurriel. And that's it. We head to inning 5. Washington leading 5-0.
Welcome back. 5-0. Nationals leading the Astros. We're back in West Palm Beach, and we're with one of the newest Astros, Josh Reddick, joining me now. Josh, how are things going as you adjust to a new team this spring training?
Oh, you know, the score box has been a little difficult for us here lately, but, you know, working on things. Timing still seems a little off, but, you know, we can't seem to catch a break right now. And but it'll come around. We've got guys swinging the bats pretty well. We just can't get the hit when we need it, and you know, our pitching staff is struggling a little bit, but it'll come around.
I was going to say, you know this group, you know, you've watched a lot of these guys, you played against a lot of these guys. You
Right.
excited about the people that are in the clubhouse with you?
I am. It's very fun. It's a lot of fun. You know, I'm beside Springer and Bregman and Marisnik and all that kind of corner. So there's never a dull moment in that side of the clubhouse. And I've kind of jumped on the bandwagon of picking on Bregman and Jake and George. So it's pretty easy to jump on those guys. They make it pretty simple. But yeah, I mean, it's weird. You know, I just turned 30, and I'm one of the oldest guys here, so that's definitely different to be treated kind of like, you know, the older veteran, and I don't really feel like that because I feel like I still have a lot to learn in this game.
Well, is that your role on the team, is to maybe have some of that fun with the younger guys or just any guys around you?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about having fun. I mean, this game is fun, so that's what we want to do, and these guys seem like a great bunch. From playing against them, it looks like a blast, and, you know, and once the season starts, it's going to be a whole lot of fun, and I just can't wait to, you know, deal with the hype.
Right. Well, as for you and playing in the outfield with some of these guys, I know it's almost a chemistry that you guys have to develop too. There's some serious talent that's going to be in that outfield.
There is. There's a lot of speed out there. It's going to be, you know, it's going to take us some time to get used to each other. You know, I've never played beside Springer, and he's learning, you know, back to center field. And with Jake coming around and, you know, me jumping to left every now and then, that's going to be interesting. I haven't played there in a while, so. But, you know, getting my reps out there during BP, and, you know, I think I'm getting in a game out there soon. So I'm going to try to treat it as simple as just flopping fields, but I don't know if it'll be that easy. But, yeah, it's going to be fun because, you know, we got a lot of fast guys out there and really good arms. So it'll be pretty amazing to watch how many balls that don't fall.
Well, you did mention, you know, you've got something to learn. You're still a young guy, I'll give you that.
Right.
But you do have a lot of experience in this game. You even have probably more postseason at bats than a lot of these guys on this team. So just bringing that experience to the team, what have you learned in your career?
That once you get there, you know, you want to get back every year. I mean, the drive for getting back to the playoffs, there's no atmosphere like it when you see, you know, every seat in the stadium has a butt in it, and they're usually not sitting down in it anyway. So it's definitely a lot of fun. Everybody's, you know, it feels like college baseball again. Everybody that gets a hit is everybody's pumping and clapping, and it just gives you that drive to get back out there. And these guys, you know, fell a little short last year, so hopefully that's something that we can, you know, get together on and work on getting back to that point because, you know, we got a lot of hype here. We've seen, you know, we pay attention to everything that goes on paper and how highly ranked that we are on paper, so we just got to start putting it together.
Speaking of hype, tell us about your wrestling fandom.
It's
everyone wants to know.
Everybody will learn eventually this year about my wrestling fandom. It's out there, you know, for a 30-year-old. It's definitely something you wouldn't see for the norm. But, you know, it's been my thing. I always use their music to walk up to, and I always have fun. I got, you know, pretty much, I think, like 30 wrestling shirts at this time, and all the wrestling belts except for maybe 2. Got a special one coming, hopefully sooner rather than later. But it's going to be pretty cool because it is a custom belt. I won't give away any secrets, but Yeah, I stick to it. I watch it, every Monday night, and when there's a pay-per-view on Sunday, I find myself sitting in front of it.
All right, well, wrestling fans, connect with Josh on Twitter. Big Twitter, right?
Quiz me, yes.
On social media.
The real Josh Reddick, not the fake one.
Fake one out there?
I don't know.
Oh, I hope not. Well, thank you for the time here. I know you're getting to know all these guys, but it seems like you've already really fit in with this clubhouse.
Yeah, it's, these guys have made it easy for me, and I don't really get talked to a whole lot. People seem to be kind of nervous when they come up and approach. And I wouldn't say that in a bad way. It just kind of feels like a lot of the younger guys don't really want to come up and talk to me. It seems like they leave me alone, so I just tend to flock to picking on Brian McCann. And I don't think he likes me for it, but we are a couple of Georgia boys, and it makes that transition easier to pick on him. So.
Well, they've all seen what you've done to Alex Bregman already, too, so I don't blame them. Thanks again for the time, and get out of here.
No problem. Thank you.
Back up to you guys.
Good job, Julie. We appreciate it. Is he still there with you?
He's here.
Any insight on the walk-up music?
Any insight on the walk-up music? This is coming from the booth?
No. I have it picked, but I'm not giving it away.
That with the belt.
Sorry.
No details are being given out just yet.
I like how
we'll wait and see.
I like how he plays to the camera. He knows where the camera is.
I know. He knows where the camera is. It's like he's done this before.
Good job, Julia. Thank you. Appreciate getting to know Josh a little bit better. This has been not the best inning for the Astros. A little fly ball on the right that was kind of a strange route by John Cameron. Then a pitch that got away for a wild pitch, and a base hit has made it 6-0.
I like the characters in that dugout. It's a fun mix. Hearing stories and listening to these guys makes me miss being down there.
Was it a big deal the first day you walked into the clubhouse to find out who your locker mates were going to be, or even the first day of the regular season?
That affected your attitude greatly.
Really?
Oh yeah. No, yeah. If you were next to a bunch of young guys, you kind of hung. Well, I'm speaking as a veteran.
Ground ball. Bregman in the shift makes the play. That's out number 2. On the play, Grant Green, who had the RBI single, moves up a base. He's now at second with 2 away.
Because when I was younger, I could care less who was next to me. I just wanted to be in the clubhouse, and that meant it was a good thing. But as I got older, yeah, you did pay attention to a lot of those things. And when you come into a new ball club, you hear the reputations from playing against guys. You talk to ex-teammates who you're teammates with and see what their attitudes are like. And, if you're in with the young guys, you're sitting there going, oh, man, here we go. A bunch of young kids are going to be goofy and kind of idiotic sometimes. And then if you got in that salty veteran corner, you were a little more comfortable, knew you could get away with a little bit more and say some interesting things. But I know for me, when I got traded from the Montreal Expos to the Houston Astros, they immediately put me next to Brad Ausmus, Craig Biggio, Jeff Bagwell.
Wow.
So being a young guy when that happened, I shut my face for a good 3 months. I did not say a word until I was spoken to, and that was just kind of the understanding as it was back then. And I know that it's different here with the Houston Astros, much more welcoming, and they like to have a lot of fun. But once I cracked that seal of getting into that inner circle of veterans on the Astros, they treated me as one of their own. It was great.
It seems like that's the transition as you take a look at this pitch. The Turner that just misses is now 2-1. Josh is a great personality. He is full of life. He's going to make a difference in the clubhouse. He was one of the strong voices in the A's clubhouse, and that's interesting that you mentioned you came over with a bunch of veterans. Now he's kind of the veteran.
Yeah.
And there is a transition, though. You can't just come in there and be like automatically the loud voice in the clubhouse. There is a transition.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, it's tough to go into a new clubhouse and be that. Be boisterous, because that's going to attract all kinds of the wrong attention that you want. You don't want to peak too soon, so to speak.
I think towards the end of the year, though, even as the season goes along, 3-1 pitch fouled away by Trey Turner. Josh's personality is going to come out more and more, and he is a fun guy to have on your 25-man roster.
Absolutely.
And as Julia found out, he already knows pointing into the camera for his statement on wrestling.
That's part of the show of wrestling, right? You got to know where the camera angles are at in order to make the whatever move you're doing look good. Or if you've got something to say, you point it right at the camera because you know exactly who you're talking to.
Pitch up high from Cy Snead, walks Trey Turner, and this inning for the Nationals continues, first and second with 2 away. Snead came on in the top half of the fourth inning, got out of a bases loaded 2-out situation by getting Anthony Rendon to pop up. But now a double by Jason Worth. He was replaced by a pinch runner, and a single by Grant Green, and a walk to Trey Turner. And now Snead will deal with Adam Eaton. This will go as a run so far. Hopefully no more attached to Cy Snead's line. But the reality is, if that first play is made, he's out of the inning and already in the dugout. 1-0 pitch is a little bit inside, and now behind in the count, 2-0. Eaton appearing for the fourth time already in this game in the fifth inning. He hit a triple his last time, also a struck out, and a sacrifice fly his first time up.
Ow. That's not good.
Juan Centeno down in some pain, faked the snap throw, and then in the process.
Well, you heard it. You heard the contact. It sounded like the knuckles, as he was going to throw, hit the backswing of Adam Eaton. Or maybe it was just on the back shoulder. So the bat comes up. Oh, man, that was his elbow?
Yep. Funny bone.
Ow.
On the, not even on the backswing, on the return from the backswing.
Ugh. Can you explain to me why it's the funny bone?
Because it's not funny.
That doesn't make any sense, Todd.
Because it goes numb. It feels funny.
Because everybody's laughing at you while you're writhing in pain. That's not funny.
Eaton obviously felt bad about the situation, but Centeno okay on his catching arm, not his throwing arm, and probably did not feel very good right initially, but he's fine now, it appears. 2-1 the count to Adam Eaton. Held up on the high fastball, 3-1. Well, Reddick mentioned it. It's not exactly been picturesque for the Astros the last couple of days. The Marlins came in here and jumped out to an 8-1 lead, and today the Nationals have jumped out to a 6-0 lead. But if you're going to struggle, you might as well struggle March 1 and 2, not May, June, July, August, September 1 and 2.
And these guys know it too. They're paying attention to the scoreboard. Nobody wants to go out there and lose. Yeah, you want to get your work done. Yes, it's early in spring, but at the same time, you want to win ball games. Everybody's much happier when you have more runs than the other team. And throughout that interview, I thought it was interesting to hear him talk about, yeah, we know about the hype, and I actually appreciate that. If you understand that and respect it, you're not going to fear it. That's big for a ball club.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
And I think to a man, every quote I've seen in the paper and every person I've spoken with is embracing that. High expectations can be daunting for a team, but this team seems to like to wear it.
It's a good thing. Yeah, you want to be talked about. The less they talk about you, that means the worse you're doing.
Both these teams have high expectations. People in Las Vegas believe that the Nationals and the Astros should win about 91.5 games. That's their projected number. Both of them. Here's a ball rocketed but foul. And so the count stays 3-2. Grant Green on second base. Trey Turner on first. George Springer has had an adventurous afternoon, including a great diving catch in center.
Yeah, that rotation is pretty strong on the Nationals side. Scherzer, Strasburg, Gio Gonzalez, Roark.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Roark's going to pitch the second game for Team USA. Broken bat. This should end the inning. Altuve to A.J. Reed, and that'll do it. But the Nationals tack on a run, and we head to the bottom of the fifth. It's Washington 6, Houston nothing.
You back to West Palm Beach. Astros Nationals. It's bottom of the 5th, and I'm joined by Carlos Beltran, another new Houston Astro who's nice enough to hang around. Your day is obviously done, but I can imagine something very important about spring training for someone that's played as long as you is to get your work in and get out, right?
That's the truth. I mean, I think we have to come to the field every day with the mentality of working the things that are, it's going to help us to get better. So when the season starts, we're ready to go. I know that you want to put good at bats. I know you want to get good results, but most importantly, you got to make sure that we leave camp healthy.
For you, how has spring training gone so far as you get to know this new group of guys?
It's great, honestly. I think AJ and Cora has done a real good job giving us the time to, improve little by little. And we're not doing too much. We're not doing too little. We're just doing the right thing, and that's very important.
Talking about the new guys in the clubhouse, you being one of them, who is your locker next to? Who are you getting to know?
Right now, I'm close to Altuve and I'm close to Springer. On my right, I have Springer. On my left, I have Altuve. And, this team is such a great energy. And for me to be around such a good team like this, I'm very excited. Excited because of we have a top player in every position almost. And the fact that, God has allowed me to have this opportunity at this stage in my career really means a lot to me.
We've heard you talk a lot about Carlos Correa being from Puerto Rico as well, but who are some of the other guys that stands out in this clubhouse?
Well, you know what, I think, Bregman is a guy that is very hungry for baseball. He's always coming to me asking questions, and, Correa also, and Gurriel, a lot of guys, it's fun, honestly. It's fun for me to, share information with those guys, and hopefully they take something and they can add to the game and, continue to be successful. That's what we look for. We're looking for put a good year as a team and, and accomplish good things.
I saw you yesterday maybe even coaching a little bit to George Springer and someone that has a couple years in the league, but is that just who you are? Is that what you do?
Yeah, you know what? They ask questions, and they ask me to look at them when they're hitting, and if I see something, I'm going to let them know. I'm passionate about the game. I love this game. This is what I've been doing all my life. So every day I come to the ballpark, I come with the mentality of, working on the things that help me to put myself in a good position. But at the same time, I got to make sure that I take a look at my teammates, and because I've been in the league quite a while. So, I know sometimes without them talking what they're going through, what they're thinking. So for me, it's beneficial for me to approach and establish a conversation with them, and hopefully they understand that I'm in their side, and and I just want them to be successful.
You're watching everybody else. Who's watching you?
Well, you know what? I'm a student of the game. I like to go to the video, take a look at my at-bats, take a look at what I'm doing, and I've been doing this for a long time, so I understand my swing. I really the hitting is about feeling. It's about going to the plate, making sure you have a good plan, good approach, and you put something in your mind. You want to execute that. So that's what I'm been working right now.
We also saw you in left field yesterday. How did that go?
Well, you know what? It's a little bit different, because being able to play right field for almost 4 or 5 years, and but I believe that if you play center field, like I did earlier in my career, you can play any position. So I just need to play a few more games to get used to it, and make sure when I'm going there, we have good communication with with Springer, and hopefully we're capable of doing our job.
No surprise, of course, the second you get out there, the ball finds you a couple times.
Exactly. That's the game of baseball. You cannot hide from the baseball. In this game, it doesn't matter. I'm there right now, and the first ball is hit to me over my head. The second ball is toward the wall. I jam my knee on the fence, but at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. I'm trying to feel comfortable out there, and it was good to have a little action.
Did you catch any of George Springer's interview yesterday? He was talking about you.
No, I didn't. What did he say?
Probably a good thing. He was talking about you in left field. He was being George.
No, I know. I mean, we have good chemistry here. These guys like to have fun. They like to talk. They like to get on, on the other teammates and things like that. And that's great. That's what it's all about. We need to create an environment where you come to the field and. We're having a good time, because at the end of the day, the game itself is so difficult that imagine if we don't have a good environment, a positive environment, it's terrible to have that type of attitude. So the fact that we're capable of, during practice, have fun and enjoy ourselves and, mess with each other, that's what you look for.
That's certainly what some of these guys are all about. It's a good time in that dugout. But, you know, for you to come back, this is obviously a completely different group, I think, than the one you played with a few years ago. As far as coaching, you know, just everyone that's around the game, there's probably a lot of new faces for you. But what does it feel like to come back?
Well, really, it feels great, honestly. I think 2004 has so many good memories here. You know, when I came from Kansas City to join this ball club, and I got the opportunity to play with so many great players, you know, starting with Bagwell, Biggio, Bertman, Oswald, and Clemens, Pettit, you know. So I was 25, 26 years old, and I was trying to, you know, be around those guys, trying to learn as much as I could. And, you know, thanks God gave me the opportunity to be part of the playoff. We had a nice run, and that's my memory, you know. So now coming back and, you know, being the veteran guy. So, I mean, I need to create a good example also for the younger guys and make sure that, you know, they look at me hustling, they look at me, you know, working on things that, you know, make me better. So that's the whole point.
I know you've been asked this a bunch, but are you looking forward to hearing the crowd's reaction on opening day when they call your name?
I think it's going to be a positive reaction, honestly. I mean, I'm part of this organization. What happened in the past, you know, fans really know what happened. You know, it didn't work out. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you have to understand that this game is a business, and you know, you're looking for the best of you and your family, and at the same time, you know, when I was a free agent by that time, you know, things didn't work out for me. You know, they didn't want to give me the no-trade clause. So for me, that was a deal breaker. So I ended up in New York. You know, had a good time over there also. So you know, the fact that God allowed me the opportunity to be back, and with this talent team, so talented, you know, it's a great opportunity for me also, because I see this team, you know, playing good baseball, and playing against them last year. And watching them, you know, when I was with the Rangers, this team is very close to win. And, you know, I just, at this stage of my career, I just want to be a part of a team where it's going to give me that opportunity.
We thank you so much for the time. I know you want to get out of here and get some rest tonight before you got to do it all again tomorrow. Thanks again, and good luck this season.
Thank you. I wish you the good.
Todd, up to you.
Appreciate it, Julia. Carlos Beltran, quite an addition to the lineup, quite an addition to the clubhouse. Astros trying to score their first runs of the game. First and second, 2 outs. Jose Altuve at the plate. We saw George Springer with a single. Alex Bregman followed with a single. They're out for pinch runners, and now called strike. It's 2-1 to Altuve. How about George Springer's day? 3 for 3 with 3 opposite field base hits.
Driving the ball the other way for that double in the first inning. Really has power all over the ballpark, but showing a good ability to adjust and go with pitches.
A.J. Hinch said before the game, reacting to that Beltran interview and then Reddick interview, for Houston fans, they've heard from Beltran before, but it's been a lot of years since he's been in town, that he really likes his guys. That's what he said. This is a good group.
Well, I like what he said about it, and we constantly talk about how loose it is in that Astros clubhouse. And you want to create an environment where guys want to show up, because this game is hard. It is hard. It is based on failure, and it's how you deal with that failure. If you've got a miserable clubhouse and you go 0 for 3 and nobody's picking you up in there and showing you a reason to show up the next day, you're not going to want to show up the next day. But these guys are a very supportive group. When each guy is in that box, there's 24 other guys behind you right there with you. And I think that is a testament to the talent and character that Jeff Luna was brought in here.
Sean Kelly in his first inning of work. He's going to have a chance to be the closer this year for Dusty Baker's Washington Nationals. After getting 2 outs on a strikeout and a flyout, now 2 runners on. Altuve stays alive, goes down to a knee. Count remains 3-2.
As only Jose Altuve can do. There's nobody else like him that I've seen that has the ability to just have his entire lower half going into the bullpen in left field, yet he still has the hands to get the barrel to the baseball. It's unbelievable.
Kept the at-bat alive with 2 outs. Alejandro Garcia on second. Anibal Sierra, the pinch runner, on first. And called third strike since Jerry Meals. That'll do it for the Astros. We are through 5. It is still all Washington, 6-0. At the ballpark of the Palm Beaches, Nationals lead the Astros 6-0. 2017 Houston Astros season tickets are on sale now. Enjoy some of the best seats at Minute Maid Park. Save money and receive great benefits throughout the season. Call 1-877-ASTROS or visit astros.com/tickets to purchase your seats. On we go to inning number 6. Cy Snead is still in there. Second full inning of work for the Astros right-hander. Came on with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 4th. And no bullpen action, so it looks like Snead will get 2 innings plus if he can get through the heart of the Nationals order. Daniel Murphy, Bryce Harper, Anthony Rendon. Wholesale changes for the Astros. Only the catcher Juan Centeno and the left fielder Jake Marisnick still in the game amongst the starters. Pitch up high to Murphy. 1 ball, 1 strike. Murphy batting for the 4th time. Couple of ground outs and a walk. Takes a called strike. 1-2. So your infield now. Tyler White's moved to 3rd. Anibal Sierra is the shortstop. Reed Brignac is at 2nd. A.J. Reed remains at 1st. John Kemmer is in right field. Alejandro Garcia is in center. There's Tyler at 3rd. And the aforementioned starters still in there, Marisnick and Centeno. Those guys will bat next inning and probably then leave the game. Counts now full on Daniel Murphy. Sliced down the left field line and a foul ball.
It's fun to watch these good hitters work. Just some of the motions when he's outside the box, realizing maybe that front shoulder flying a little too much.
Kind of see him talking to himself about that, couldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole nother skull session outside the box for him. That's what good hitters do. They're able to make those adjustments immediately, pitch to pitch almost. And I don't know Daniel Murphy well enough to say that he's a hyper-technical guy or how he works in the cage, but I know that a lot of these guys pay attention to video. A lot of guys will put little Sharpie marks on the screen and see if their head's moving too much.
Kind of inside out. Drake Marisnick can't quite make the play. Marisnick with a diving attempt. And Daniel Murphy has his first hit of the game. Leadoff base runner for the Nationals in the 6th inning.
If Jake is playing center field, he makes his play, but he's playing a corner outfield position, and he's learning still. As good as he is, he has to learn how his talent plays in the outfield. And again, a left-handed bat on a corner position like left field is going to be slicing. So it's going from his left to right as he's diving straight in. So it's tough to create an angle for that glove if you're trying to make that dive. And he's just learning. He will figure that out. He is that good of an athlete and defender that he will make the adjustment.
And you heard Carlos Beltran talk about the same thing. He said it was very different.
It is.
And people don't realize that at home. You see an outfield position, you're like, oh, if you could play one, you could play them all, but it's not the same.
It's tough. Yeah, those corner spots are tough because you're not playing straight on. And if you're playing right field, a right-handed hitter is going to hit a ball that it will be slicing towards the foul line against you.
Bryce Harper was trying to end his day with a home run, 0-1. Harper has a home run this spring, a couple of walks and a strikeout in this game. Would assume this would be Bryce's last at bat as we play here in the 6th. Yeah, quite a year last year for Murphy. 2nd in the ML MVP voting in the NL. He talked about the technician that he is at the plate. He is always working to improve his game. And then this guy, quite a little combination in the middle of their order when you have Daniel Murphy and Bryce Harper back to back.
Yeah, players like to call that noise. A lot of noise in the middle part of that lineup.
Snead now facing his 9th batter, so he has faced everybody currently in the Washington Nationals lineup. Anthony Rendon will not be getting any more bats. Wilmer Defoe came on defensively for him. But he gets to face Murphy and Harper to start the inning.
Mike Maddox, a pitching coach on the right. In the background, take a look at Jock Jones, big smile on his face. He's the assistant hitting coach, but a guy that I've known for it's probably decades now. I played against him in college when he was at the University of Southern California.
Harper sends one high and deep into right center field, and this one is gone. He does end his afternoon with a home run as Bryce Harper hits his second of the spring. Tacks on 2 more. It's now 8-0 Nationals.
It was great to watch that sequence in real time. Just the ability of Bryce Harper to get that foot down early, but the hands stay back, recognize breaking ball, eyes recognizing ball up, and then just absolutely whacking that one. That's the good old-fashioned you hang it, I'll bang it.
Bryce Harper with his second home run. And the Nationals have scored in 4 of the 6 innings now. Wilmer Difo is the batter. Difo gets his first at bat, taking over at third for Anthony Rendon, and he sends one down the line in right field. That's going to be a base hit. That's heading to the corner. Difo going to second. He's going to try for 3. The relay throw will not be made. Difo goes in standing. Single home run triple this inning from the Nationals 3, 4, 5 hitters.
Tell you what, any mistake made, these National hitters are not missing them. Bob Henley, an ex-teammate, ex-roommate when I was with the Montreal Expos, waving around Wilmer Difo. And again, as a runner, ball in that right field corner, you got to rely on that third base coach to help you out, wave you or stop you, but understanding Defoe's speed. Good old boy Bobby Henley waves him around.
You have a lot of connections with this group from Washington.
Yeah, there's some ex-Expos over there working for the Nationals, which is good to see, but Bob Henley is one of my favorites. He was a great guy, and I blame him for the partial Southern drawl that I have in my voice because I roomed with him so many times in the winter leagues. We were roommates. During seasons, we were roommates. We were on plenty of teams together coming up through the Montreal Expos organization. Great catcher, had a phenomenal arm.
So you blame your Southern slight. I don't even.
He's from Alabama,
right?
So hanging around him, I thought he sounded cool. So I would kind of emulate him a little bit and make fun of him too, mimicking him a little bit, and it just kind of rubbed off on me.
That was a nice stop right there by Centennial to save a run. Astros are going to play the infield in almost all the time with a runner on third and less than 2 outs.
Not the recommended blocking position to be in for a catcher, but a heck of a pick. Sometimes you get put down fastball and a guy yanks a pitch like that, you just don't have enough time to get around to it.
Up a foul.
I got it.
Almost all the way back to our booth. There is Centennial. Had his best major league season last year playing for the Minnesota Twins. We talked to Jeff Luhnow earlier in this broadcast, and he talked about the depth. Now all of a sudden you have McCann and Gaddis at the major league level. Max Stassi, a guy like Juan Centennial, who played a number of games for Minnesota last year. Pitch inside, it's now 3-2. Centennial played in 55 games for the Twins, 176 at bats, 3 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Left-hand hitting catcher. 3-2 pitch, inside ball 4. And that's the end of the day for Cy Snead. So Cy started in the top half of the 4th inning. He'll leave in the top half of the 6th inning. He's responsible for the runners on first and third. And the Astros will have a new pitcher when we come back. 8-0 Washington. new pitcher for Houston when we return. Eight nothing Washington leading the Houston Astros. Top half of the 6th inning. Astros will bring on their 3rd pitcher of the game. Brad Peacock started. Cy Snead for an inning and a third. And now the right-hander Keegan Yule to the mound.
How about that? 2016, Keegan was the Corpus Christi Pitcher of the Year, making 17 starts, had an 8-3 record. That ERA at 3.04, not too shabby.
He's been involved in both of the Astros' victories this year. It will be quite a comeback if he's involved in the 3rd win of the year. Keegan has a win and a save. The Astros have 2 wins this spring, and he comes on with Houston trailing 8-0 in the 6th inning. Here's Grant Green, who singled home a run his last time up. Yule, part of the 2014 draft. Last year, a midseason All-Star in the Texas League while at Corpus Christi before moving up to finish the year at the AAA level for Fresno. 2-0 the count to Green. Base hit, right field. Grant Green's 2 for 2. He has 2 RBIs. And it's now a 9-0 Washington lead as Wilmer Defoe comes in to score. A run will go against the ledger of Cy Snead, and he's still responsible as Snead for the runner on second base, Brian Goodwin. Here's Jonathan Solano. Takes the pitch for a ball, 1-0. We will be hearing from A.J. Hinch in the 7th inning. I'm sure he's thrilled about that. In a 9-0 game. AJ's actually been great with us our first 2 broadcasts. We really appreciate all the access we've had here in our first 3 telecasts. We're going to hear from AJ in the 7th, and Julia introducing us and to Josh Reddick in his first interview as an Astro. And even though Carlos Beltran was here earlier in his career, it's been a number of years, so good to hear from Carlos again. And yesterday, George Springer was highly entertaining.
No, I talked about the characters in that clubhouse. That also benefits us, especially here in spring training, being able to have a little bit more access, and Julia down there in the dugout corralling these guys and kidding them on air. And it's been fun for us. It's good. I know it hasn't presented itself well on the field of play, but at least the character's still intact. I hope I don't speak too soon for AJ, though. He has been incredibly affable with us and answering most of our questions.
3-1 the count to Solano. Solano's going to be part of Team Columbia along with the Astros' Dion Diaz in the World Baseball Classic, and Jonathan Solano is going to make it a double-digit lead for the Nationals with an RBI base hit. Solano brings home Brian Goodwin. Grant Green goes over to third. And the hits keep coming for the Nats. It's now 10-0.
Good try by Tyler, but also a very good job by Jake going over there and getting that ball in and keeping the runner at first base. Keeps that double play in order in case there is a ground ball.
Pitch hits Stevenson, and he's on first base. Andrew Stevenson, the left fielder, gets hit by a pitch, and now the bases are loaded. Still nobody out in the 6th inning.
This might be a situation where A.J. Hinch actually calls down to the minor league side and says, is there anybody still standing out there that can put on a uniform?
Well, it looked like he was trying to get extra innings or extra batters out of both Peacock and Cy Snead.
Yeah, he was pushing Snead a little bit, unfortunately unable to break through.
We saw Tony Sipp in between those two guys, too. So this is actually the 4th pitcher. Brad Peacock for 3, Tony Sipp for 2/3, Cy Snead for an inning and a third. And now Keegan Ewell, line drive off the bat of Emmanuel Burris. It was well hit. It's going to result in a sacrifice fly. It's now 11-0 on the line drive to left, or excuse me, line drive to right. First at bat of the game for Burris as he took over for Trey Turner in that leadoff spot. And now Adam Eaton's afternoon is over as Rafael Bautista gets his first at bat. How's your scorebook looking?
That's why I'm so quiet. I'm playing catch up over here, man.
I would ask you that so I could catch up. First pitch swinging is Bautista, pops it up. Infield fly rule invoked. Reed Brignac makes the play, and there's 2 outs. And still in the game is Daniel Murphy. How about that?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny. Some of these guys who like to hit and are really working on things, they'll go to the manager and they'll have a conversation. Are you taking me out? If you are, I want the AB if I come up again, kind of thing. So I'm sure it was a situation where he said, I don't want to play defense again, but if I get another chance to go in that box, let me.
So Murphy, who started this inning with a single, comes around as the 10th hitter of the inning and takes a pitch away, 1-0. Murphy's 5th plate appearance of the game. Singled and scored on the Bryce Harper home run in this inning. Past the mound. Sierra will make the throw over, and the Nationals are done in the 6th. But 5 more runs for the Washington Nationals, including a 2-run home run by Bryce Harper. It is 11-0 heading to the bottom half of the 6th.
to a sunny West Palm Beach here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Astros trailing the Nationals, and the Astros will be celebrating Jeff Bagwell's election into the Hall of Fame throughout the 2017 season. A special 5-game ticket package is now available and includes tickets to the Bagwell Hall of Fame weekend in August and then access to the exclusive Bagwell-themed giveaways. Visit astros.com/mini-plans for more information. Y'all don't, well, I know Blummer probably remembers when they did this for Biggio a couple years ago. That was a lot of fun. The weekend they had for him where fans could come and take pictures with the plaque, and it's really cool stuff for the fans.
It is really cool, and it's a generational type thing too, because a lot of parents who watched Jeff Bagwell play have told stories about him, and now they get to celebrate him again, which I think is a wonderful thing. A couple of big hits at the up there in Montreal. That was Jeff Bagwell's 2,000th hit of his career. Tony Gwynn got his 3,000th hit in Montreal, but right here, Baggy had to earn it. You think he was thinking about number 2,000 as he's hauling down first base right there, going, this is how it's going to be?
I love it.
And you know what? He would rag himself a little bit, but you know deep down in his heart, he was extremely proud of getting that hit.
Rightfully so, and rightfully in Cooperstown. We are also proud of Jeff Bagwell and look forward to the summer of Bagwell in his induction. Here is Derek Fisher getting his first at bat. Michael Broadway is the new pitcher for the Washington Nationals. Broadway originally drafted back in 2005 by the Atlanta Braves. Spent a couple of seasons with the San Francisco Giants. Actually spent some time in Japan as well with Yokohama. Fisher fouls it away. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. There is Broadway taking over here in the 6th inning. The Nationals in command, 11-0, 11 runs on 13 hits for Washington. No runs, 7 hits for the Astros. 3 of those 7 hits came from George Springer at the top of the lineup. Good to see Springer get 3 base hits, all opposite field hits. There's a fastball away. It's 2-1. Fisher, A.J. Reed, and John Kemmer, the scheduled first 3 in this inning. Fisher sends one high and deep to right center field. Well struck all the way to the wall, against the base of the wall. Derek Fisher with a leadoff double for the Astros here in the 6th inning.
A little bit of excitement to start off this 6th inning. Might have gotten a little bit quick, got it off the end of the bat a little bit, but still plenty of pop, especially on a day like today where it seems like the ball is traveling well. Looks like he didn't really decide to put his head down and think about 3 until he got about halfway there. Shuts it down.
Fisher now 2 for 8 on the spring with a couple of doubles. And here's A.J. Reed. Reed with an opposite field home run against the Miami Marlins yesterday. We are still waiting for our first home run in the ballpark of the Palm Beaches to leave right of center field. We have seen every home run hit in the first 3 games now, either to left or left center, until Bryce Harper ended that streak. So that's the right guy to christen the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. To right field.
If they were taking odds in Vegas, his odds would be pretty good. Put some money on him.
Carlos Beltran will have the honor of the first ever home run in this stadium. Here's a pop foul that Wilmer Defoe corrals, so A.J. Reed is retired.
The only knock I have against this ballpark is there's a lot of foul territory.
You're not, as a hitter, you hate it.
I hate it.
A lot of pitchers are really thrilled with that.
Yeah, it's not like the O.co or whatever we're calling the Oakland Coliseum these days, where it's just, you know, there's another field on each side of the base pad. But here, for a spring training side, that is a hefty amount of foul territory.
I think that there have not been more than 2 consecutive seasons where that stadium has kept the same name.
I know. I agree.
Since about the early or late mid-90s. Rickey Henderson Field now is the name.
Are you serious? Shouldn't be laughing, should I?
I'm just finding this out myself.
You guys didn't know that?
Ricky.
I heard something about that, but there's no other tag to it other than Ricky Henderson Field. It's not Ricky Henderson Field at Oakland Alameda.
No, it's Ricky Henderson Field. They're going to have a big day for him right out of the gates. Kind of wish we were there for that.
He is the greatest.
Just
he
ask him.
I thought it might be, Ricky Henderson Field at Oakland Alameda Coliseum or something like that. But just
I agree. That would have, that had a nice flow to it.
Because it's pretty strong to just say Ricky Henderson Field. Good for Ricky. 1-0 pitch is up high for a ball. It's 2-0.
Why didn't they name it MC Hammer Field?
Now
there you go.
Right?
Stanley Burrell.
I've got to meet that guy.
How's that not happening?
I know. I try every time on Twitter. I reach out to him every trip that we make to Oakland.
Doesn't he follow you?
He does now because I've bothered him.
Yeah,
I've bothered him that much on Twitter. I decided to just follow me.
I like it.
I am a big enough nuisance that I got MC Hammer to follow me, is what Julia just said.
All I want to do is the Too Legit dance with him. That's it.
That would be incredible.
Right?
Just normal attire, you'd go with the baggy pants.
I could probably whip up something.
She could rock those.
Yeah.
3-0 the count on John Kemmer. We are in the 6th inning of an 11-0 game. We were told before the game that A.J. Hinch would join us in the 7th. We hope he stands up to that commitment. It's not been the prettiest of afternoon.
Well, it's already the 6th.
Yeah. It is a 4-pitch walk to Kemmer. So Kemmer on first base. And the Astros have runners on first and second. And Tyler White will get his first at bat of the day. Stanley Burrell, in case you don't know, who is later to be known as MC Hammer, was the bat boy for the Oakland A's growing up. And obviously has made a name for himself in the music industry. And hopefully, Hammer, if you're watching, Julia Morales would really like to do the Too Legit to Quit dance with you.
I'm sure he's tuned in.
I'm sure he's watching us at this point on his satellite dish. Here is Tyler White.
It's funny because across the league, 8th inning and sometimes that 7th inning stretch where each stadium has their own song. Boston has Sweet Caroline. Down in Houston, we've got Deep in the Heart of Texas. And, of course, in Oakland, you've got Too Legit to Quit.
There you go.
And they've got the hand motions up on the big screen. But that was not necessary because Julia has it nailed down.
Yeah.
Can
Lots of practice.
Can we get a little flavor of that, maybe?
Can she do it without the music?
Last year I even did a GIF
Ooh.
of that. Remember?
1-1 pitch is low from Broadway. 2-1.
Did you mispronounce my name again?
Wait, you don't know how to do Too Legit to Quit?
Well, we do, but we'd prefer to see it from you.
Okay.
We could do it. We could do it. We just.
I'm hiding in my corner.
Yeah, how do you think I get hyped up for broadcasts?
Hang on. Let's.
2-1 pitch is popped high in the air, right side of the infield, looking into the sun. Infield fly rules in effect, but Grant Green loves it either way. All right, here we go.
Are you gonna sing?
Too legit to quit. There you go.
Hey.
There you go. So if Hammer does not want to do the dance with you now, I don't know what else we can do to sell it.
Well, I could use some work too. I think I'm missing a 2. It's too legit to quit that I sometimes miss. That
other.
There's one more 2.
T-O, not T-O-O. How about that?
It's a little more complex than you think.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's a lot to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Astros would like to work on getting a run across here as Michael Broadway had first and second, one out, and delivers a breaking ball to Juan Centeno for a called strike, 0-1. Centeno staying in there as the catcher in this game in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Daniel Murphy's still in there for the Nationals. Again, we mentioned World Baseball Classic has these guys playing more innings that want to get work, and knowing Murphy, he wants to play as much as he can before heading to Miami at the end of the week. So the reigning runner-up in the National League MVP balloting last year is still playing in this game. He's the only Washington National still in there. Centeno and the guy on deck, Jake Marisnick, only starters still in there for Houston. I would think after this at bat for Juan, his day might be done. 1-1 pitch away. Solano gloves it. It's 2-1. Derek Fisher on second. He led off with a double. John Kemmer on first. He walked. Astros have 8 hits. We're in the 6th inning. Still trying to find that first run. Washington with 11 runs on 13 hits. Good slider from Broadway. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned Cy. Cy's a good name for a pitcher. I'm not sure if Broadway.
Yeah, you don't want to be known as that guy.
Not necessarily a good pitcher's name.
Yeah, the second you give one up, you know exactly what they're going to say.
Cued off the end of the bat. Defoe from third with the throw across, and Michael Broadway gets through the 6th inning, allowing a hit and a walk, but no runs. We are through 6. We head to the 7th. Washington 11, Houston nothing. Nationals lead the Astros. We head to the 7th inning, and kind enough to join us for the 3rd consecutive day, A.J. Hinch. You're becoming a regular on our broadcast. We appreciate it.
You know, I never got to play 3 days in a row, so I appreciate you guys getting me on 3 days.
Tell us about the left-hander we're about to see here in the 7th inning. We talked to Jeff Luhnow briefly about Framber Valdez.
Yeah, he's pretty exciting. I'm anxious to get another look at him. He's thrown once in Port St. Lucie. He's got a great breaking ball. Pretty good presence. You know, we don't know a ton about him. He's kind of raced through the lower minors. He's going to get his taste of I think middle to upper minor leagues to start the year, and then we'll see what happens. But being left-handed, we don't have a ton of depth. He's made a nice first impression a couple days ago, and we got him back in the game.
How important is that first impression for some of these kids in camp?
I mean, I try not to rush to too many conclusions. I mean, it's hard. These kids want to do so well, and some of them I think are getting a little bit of a reality check on what it takes to get some guys like Bryce Harper out and Murphy and these guys. So they want to do well. I more so want to see how they handle success, how do they handle failure, a little bit of both, but they certainly want to do well.
Michael Taylor, who won the game for the Nationals on Tuesday, gets his first at bat in place of Bryce Harper, and grounds one to third. Tyler White makes the play for the first out of the inning. Too bad he didn't have replay in spring training.
I know.
AJ, it looked like that one home run by Rendon might not have left the park.
Yeah, no, it is the beauty of replay. I walked out and I said, you know, look, I know it's spring training for everybody, but can you guys like confer and make the right call? I don't even really need video. I saw it kind of go across the fence, but they got together and still called it a homer. But luckily, no need to get ejected in spring training. I can save those for the season.
We're taking a look at the replay now. Jake actually got a glove on it, and then George Springer was pretty adamant as that ball. Angel Hernandez, to his credit, you don't see a ball stay on the top of the wall that long usually, and I guess that might have fooled him.
Did you just credit Angel Hernandez?
I did.
No comment.
Yeah, I can say something. Are you guys rethinking having the Nationals come over to this ballpark with you guys?
Yeah, I didn't really want to talk about Tuesday's homer. I don't really want to talk about the first 6 innings. We're trying to focus on Valdez here. You guys keep bringing up the negative things that are going on, so clean it up there. Let's talk a little more positive. It's been a little bit of a rough day.
What have you seen in the first 4 pitches?
A lot of strikes.
That's a good thing.
We haven't been able to throw strikes when we want to. So this is pretty interesting to see a young kid come in and just pound the strike zone.
Well,
as he throws one up and away.
Yeah, but I talked him into it. In being positive, there are 8 hits on the board. Granted, with runners in scoring position, they haven't come across. But I've noticed that the strikeouts are down. Is there an emphasis on the contact situation for these hitters coming in?
A little bit. I mean, I think we have the makeup of our team is what it is. I think we're going to still have some big swings, but obviously contact's your friend in a lot of scenarios during the game. And we don't necessarily emphasize contact versus swing and miss, but it's more getting your pitch to hit, doing a little bit of damage. So in games like this, I mean, obviously nobody likes to get their brains beat in 11-0, but Springer obviously having a good day. There were a couple of good swings by Reddick. There's a couple of good swings by a couple game situations that we can learn from. You know, Marisnick's obviously in left field. He hasn't been in left field that much. Obviously, you can say that when you're losing 11-0, you're trying to grab something out of a camp game, but. You know, we'll be fine as we get to our guys together.
And Springer, you mentioned 3 hits, all opposite field, including that ringing double to start the game.
Yeah, he's an energy provider for us. I love him in the leadoff spot. It's a little bit unique to see a behemoth of a human leading off the game, but we'll see him in the leadoff spot a lot.
Nice
play by Centennial to get Wilmer Defoe after the strikeout. So 2 up, 2 down.
We worked on that play this morning.
He worked on a PFP with Tony Sipp getting a couple opportunities to cover first. That was good to see him get his work.
You know what's interesting about this to start the season? We had we work on this over and over and over and over again, and then the first play of the entire spring was a bounce back to Justin Verlander in Detroit, and he missed it. And I was like, no matter how much you practice, the game's always a little bit different. But yeah, Tony did make a couple of nice plays, and to be honest with you, we tried to keep the plays to a minimum that include the pitcher. It's much easier for Gurriel to maybe go take it himself or have our infielders handle the ball, but our pitchers are getting more comfortable.
Well, I think more importantly, too, Yuli looked really good on that ground ball. He rounded it off and gave a good flip to Tony. He looks pretty good at first base.
He does. He's comfortable. He's a really good infielder, and I think that's going to make it. It's different than trying to force a catcher to first base or maybe somebody from the outfield to first base or just sort of thinking you can throw anybody over there. He's a really good infielder, and the adjustment's more on angles and responsibility, not so much, catching the ball and making the plays.
And Bregman played short today, and that's good news. But how about at third base? J.D. Davis is swinging a good bat and playing a good third.
He is. He's a good-looking kid. He's got a little bit of power. He knows how to hit. He's made his way to Double-A. I think he'll probably get Double-A or Triple-A this year to start the season. But he can really hit. I think he hit over 20 home runs, hit over 280. He's had a nice season and made himself a legitimate prospect.
A.J. Reed with the play, and he was going to flip, and he decides Valdez could not get there in time. A.J.?
Which A.J.? Do I have to answer that question?
We just talked about that all 3-1, so you would prefer your first baseman to make that play?
I was going to say, it kind of played into that whole situation you're talking about, where the initial thought from the first baseman should be, can I get the out myself, right?
Yeah, well, the first part of the play is the pitcher's got to, his first reaction's got to be to first base and let the play stop him from going to first rather than assume. But at the end of the day, I think the easiest play is always when the first baseman can handle it and get to the base. The problem is this kid that's running is really fast.
Yes.
And so that creates a lot of havoc and a lot of panic in young players when they look up and maybe you're used to seeing a guy halfway down the line, and now you're looking at this kid and he's 2/3 of the way down the line. It might create some havoc.
Well, and the left-hander is falling off towards the third base side. Tough to get back to first base with those guys that can run.
Yep, spring training, it'll be a nice learning lesson for these boys.
Brian Goodwin with good speed beats it out, so he's a runner on first with 2 outs. Grant Green, who has 2 at-bats, 2 hits, and 2 RBIs. You're probably looking forward to seeing Charlie Morton get on the hill tomorrow in his first outing for you.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to tomorrow.
Well, you get Noah Syndergaard, by the way.
Yeah, no, it'll be fun to get over there. We've got a couple of our regulars that are going to travel. Bregman will be over there. Correa will be over there. Marwin Gonzalez, who's a halftime regular, will be over there. Jake Marisnick's going to get some time in center field. So we'll have some of the young kids playing the outfield, but Gaddis will get to face him a little bit. So there'll be a little extra adrenaline when the big boy gets on there.
So spring training is a little bit different. Try and light it up and take your mind off of this ball game a little bit. Who designed and ran camp this spring for you? Because it's not the manager's job.
No, I mean, it's, I just yell at them when they do it wrong.
That's the beauty of it.
but it's, Alex Cora, our new bench coach, has got a lot of help. Alonzo Powell's helped out a ton. That generally falls under the line of the bench coach, but they always have the ticking time bomb in the manager's office who will change things about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. You get sort of an idea in your head, but it's all hands on deck. Strami handles the pitchers. We have 2 separate practices basically at the same time. We've got to make sure everybody's got somewhere to be. We try to be really efficient, try not to stand around everywhere, but AC's getting a little bit of a taste on what it takes to put together a camp.
There's that breaking ball you talked about.
Yeah, called it.
How about that? AJ, we really appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, AJ.
See you guys.
AJ Hinch joining us top of the 7th. Good to see Framber Valdez working inning there as he gets the final out with this curveball for a called 3rd strike as he freezes Grant Green.
Welcome back. It's bottom 7, deep in the heart, being played here in West Palm Beach, just like at home. And the Astros home opener is Monday, April 3rd, when the Astros take on the Mariners at Minute Maid Park. Tickets are on sale tomorrow, March 3rd. Don't miss your chance to see the Astros kick off the season. For more information, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com/opening day. Guys, I'm gonna, when is our next broadcast? March 17th?
Correct.
I'm gonna do it from one of those chairs. So
seriously?
I'll be out there.
Nice.
Is that okay with you?
I think you should.
Is that
you have earned it.
I'm going to bring my sunscreen and just lounge.
Umbrella.
We're green.
What a great spot to watch a game.
We're green.
Until you get run over by
next.
some random spring breaker trying to catch a fly ball, gets smoked.
Then gets interviewed.
Yeah, then becomes famous.
How about that little shot, though? I like that. It was the split of the complex right there. Nationals on one side, Astros on the other.
Exactly.
That's how it was all drawn up for the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Jake Marisnick gets his final at-bat of the day. We're going to assume that. As Blake Trinan comes on as the new pitcher for the Washington Nationals. Sinker slider guy misses inside. Jake, it's 2-0. Jake is flied to center and flied to right. There you see, look, Astros left, Nationals right. That's how the stadium is configured. Astros complex on the left, Nationals on the right. And these two guys sitting perfectly in sync with the signage and with the complexes. Not that they planned that. Jake up the middle, but right there is the second baseman. And, hey, Daniel Murphy's out of the game, finally. Steven Drew in the game makes the play. How about Framber Valdez last inning, Mr. Blum?
Well, we heard about the breaking ball from A.J. Hinch, and you get a chance to see some of the velocity. We saw him touching 92, 93, but it's that breaking ball right there that I'm most impressed with. Again, you will hear a lot about spin rates, and Valdez is one of those guys that has that high spin rate. And you can see the late break on that breaking ball, locking up the hitter, getting the backdoor strike three. It's beautiful.
I don't always read body language, but as soon as I mentioned Framber Valdez, I don't know if you saw Jeff Luno's reaction. He
Yeah.
kind of lit up.
Yeah.
Like, we got a nice arm here. We've got a nice arm here with this lefty. And we'll see. A lot of crazy things happen in baseball. I know Sparky, our buddy Steve Sparks, was very high on him after watching him in his first outing. And, you know, Valdez, he wears a number without a name, so it's a long shot. But he's a guy that you want to keep your eye on for the future.
Well, and futures happen pretty quick in the Astros organization. If they're able to move these guys up, and if Fromber is able to prove himself at each level, he will be moved up through the ranks.
Here's Alejandro Garcia. Garcia down on the count, 1-2 strikes. Alejandro took over for George Springer as a pinch runner in the 5th, took over in center field as well. Gets his first at bat of the day. And just put that in your memory bank, that name, Fromber Valdez.
Can't really forget that one, can you?
No, Fromber is not exactly a name.
It's pretty unique in itself.
2-2 the count. Hey, Orbit's still working hard here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, getting the crowd into it.
He is high energy.
It's been in the mid-80s the last 2 days. Not ideal temperatures to be in a mascot uniform, but Orbit is crushing it. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, so Garcia goes down. That's that good sinker from Blake Trinan, and 2 away.
Orbit's really made a name for himself.
Sure.
He is very popular.
He is. Nationally.
Yes. Pay attention when he's around. Always got good skits before the game, messing with the other team.
How much does he mess with you, Julia?
Well, we have a long history. We'll have to fill you in.
Yeah, I'm still learning.
There's quite the story.
Is it a happy
between Ori
history?
and I. Well, you know, it started happy, and then it was heartbreaking, and then you know we
Julia's
got
not
back on the right
most
track.
faithful to mascots.
Was there a Philly fanatic?
Wow, you. Okay, so.
It is 11-0, Julia, so it's okay.
Touchy subject.
Anibal Sierra, by the way, getting an at bat here. We have not seen him this spring. Just want to make sure we knew who was hitting. But go ahead, touchy subject.
Well, I mean, we'll just have to fill you in throughout the year because it's a really long.
We do go to Philly this
story.
year.
It's a saga.
It is. It was a soap opera there for a while.
It was.
There were tears shed.
All right, I look forward to the
Big
story.
Falling out. But we're all good now.
Everybody's happy now?
Yes, we're
Okay.
good now. We've come a long way.
Orbit seems pretty happy right now. 2 outs, nobody on. Anibal Sierra getting a chance to hit for the first time. Takes a pitch away. It is 2-2. Sierra spent the season last year in the Dominican Summer League with the Astros on the blue side. .316 batting average and 79 at bats, a couple of home runs, 11 RBIs. Signed in July of last season. There's a pitch inside, and it's 3-2. He's from Santiago de Cuba in Cuba, originally born there. And signed with the Astros last summer, getting his first spring training at bat and facing a pretty good right-hander in Blake Trinan. Swing and a miss. Trinan goes through a 1-2-3 7th, including back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. We head to inning number 8. Washington 11, Houston nothing.
Nothing. The infamous berm out there in left field. Astros Spring Training Baseball is always live with the MLB.com baseball mobile app. Customize at bat to feature the Astros and stay connected all spring with live scores and up-to-the-moment news, stats, and much more. Plus, subscribe to At Bat Premium and get the app's best features throughout the 2017 season, including live radio broadcasts, video highlights, the MLB.TV Game of the Day, and enhanced stat tracking capabilities. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Download MLB.com At Bat today. It's the #1 app for live baseball.
That is a solid read right there.
Bolted through it, almost as solid as the face plant we saw yesterday, right at the base. That is the scene of the crime right there. No chalk outlines because the young man bounced back up.
Oh my gosh, we have a new cameraman.
This broadcast is about to get sideways.
Orbit is running this camera right here.
Oh my gosh,
so
stability.
if you see a shot from our mid-third camera, which is the one you're looking at right now, and it's not exactly in focus, you'll know why.
My goodness, he's a little nervous, shaky up there.
We have a right-hand hitter, so that doesn't help him. He can't really zoom in on the lefty, but Jonathan Solano is the leadoff hitter for the Nationals here in the 8th, an 11-0 game. Lefty Brian Holmes comes on, 25-year-old. For the Houston Astros.
Things have really gone awry. Now we've got an alien on our camera.
And he's got the headphones on his antenna, the right antenna.
Do you realize how big those headphones would have to be to cover that skull? That's mass.
Orbit running a camera in an 11-0 game. It's 1-1 to Solano.
His head's big enough to have something orbiting it.
He's actually in focus, but he hasn't really zoomed in or out. Oh, there we go. There we go. Zoom in. Oh, boy.
For those who are motion sickness, please look away.
It's a foul ball. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Solano, as we mentioned, part of Team Colombia, along with Dion Diaz from the Astros. That's the team that's going to play the U.S. in the first game, March 10th of the World Baseball Classic. First game for the U.S., that is. Don't go to sleep on Team Colombia. They've got Julio Teheran.
They've cranked out some good ball players over the years, and like you're saying right now, they do have some good ball players on that club.
1-2 pitch in dirt, 2-2. If you go Teheran Quintana, you can be dangerous for a game. Solano will be in there, and the Astros Diaz. They are giving lessons as we speak to Orbit about how to run that camera. So it's going to get better as the inning goes along, we think.
I think he's been kicked off.
Oh, is he gone? Base hit into right center field as the Nationals continue to swing the bats today. Solano digging for 2 and head first slides in the second. We told you there'd be a split of Nationals and Astros fans at this game, as West Palm Beach is the home for both of these teams. Nationals fans have had a lot to cheer about today. 15 hits, 11 runs. Davey Lopes hands off, gets the equipment, the first base coach.
One of the best first base coaches in all of baseball. As you watch this replay of the ball going into right field, I'm going to talk a little bit about Davey Lopes because I had him in San Diego as our first base coach. And he a true professional and another guy that I watched when I was young growing up in the LA area. Just loved the way he played the game. A very good base stealer, but a guy who can impart on so much information as far as stealing bases.
Pitch up and in. Holmes to Andrew Stevenson. And that pitch gets away from the new catcher Tyler Heineman, and going to third base is Jonathan Solano.
And just a quick story about Davey Lopes. He's been around a while, and he's a coveted first base coach, much like Perry Hill with the Miami Marlins we talked about yesterday. But when I was in San Diego, I'm not a base stealer by any means. You can check the numbers. I think I have 18, 19 stolen bases in my career, but I had a 9 stolen base season, I think, with San Diego, and he was the reason why. I would literally lead off, come back to the bag, and he would tell me, he goes, steal this pitch. And I would be like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to run. You're going to get me thrown out. And I'm going to, Bochy's going to start yelling at me. He goes, if you don't go right now, there's going to be issues. Sure enough, guy lifts his leg. I take off for second base, no throw.
Really?
I look down, I look at first base, and Davey's giving me that look with both hands up like, listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. He is that in tune. Studies the pitchers, studies the runners, studies the counts, studies the situations, and he puts all that together to help those guys out. He's remarkable in picking up on those just little nuances and twitches and pitchers when they go to home plate. He'll tell you, watch his back heel. If his back heel comes up, he's coming to first. If his back heel stays down, he's going home. I mean, just down to the little minutia of movements that these guys have.
Wow. He's a veteran. You can see how far off he is from his coach's box with a left-hand hitter at the plate right now.
Yeah.
But so almost half of a swing and a miss. Holmes gets Stevenson with a runner on third and nobody out. So nice job by Brian Holmes as he gets one away. So almost half of your career steals in the 1 year he was your first base coach.
And it wasn't, he knew I wasn't good enough to pick apart pitchers and which move to go on, but he would always come over and he goes, steal now. And I was, yes, sir. And I would go and I'd be safe. And I'd just keep tipping my cap.
Davey Lopes. Been around this game a long time. Emmanuel Burris is a hitter. We told you A.J. Hinch is going to play the infield in almost all the time in the spring with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. So we saw it with no outs and Stevenson, now with 1 out and Emmanuel Burris the hitter. Lopes was part of an infield with the Los Angeles Dodgers that stayed around for so many consecutive years together. You'll probably never see that in this day and age.
I agree.
With Steve Garvey at first base, Lopes was the second baseman, Bill Russell the shortstop, and the Penguin Ron Cey at third base. That was it. That for like a decade.
I knew that was the infield. I knew that's all I knew, and that's all. Back in that day, those guys stuck around together. It was free agency was different, trades were different, and they held on to those guys and let them play. They were very good in the mid '80s. They were fun to watch.
He and Angel Hernandez having a running conversation over at first base as Emmanuel Burris with an 0-1 count fouls one back. It's 0-2.
Interesting story about that infield. Obviously, I know Davey Lopes rather well, but Ron Cey, I played college baseball with Ron Cey's son, Dan Cey.
Is that right?
Who played in the Minnesota Twins organization for a while.
There you go.
But we were the double play combo up there at Cal. Shortstop, second base. But I got to know the Penguin real well because he would come up and throw batting practice every once in a while. So we got to know him pretty good. I eventually made it to the big leagues, and every time we went through Chavez Ravine and he was around, he'd go out of his way to say hello. It was great.
Very cool. Yeah, right. Quite an infield for Tommy Lasorda and the Dodgers back in the 70s. 0-2 pitch popped in the air. Holmes might see his way out of this as A.J. Reed waits for it and puts it away. That is out number 2. So after a double, a wild pitch, now 2 outs, and the runner still at third. Jonathan Solano over at third. It's up to Rafael Bautista. Learn a little more about Brian Holmes. You see what he did last year. 13th round pick in the 2012 draft. He was an all-star for AA Corpus Christi. Pitching in his 6th season with the Astros. Left-hander who now lives in Fort Walton Beach, born in Georgia. And a fly ball to right field, long run, not able to get there as it falls in for a base hit. The throw back to the infield gets away, but a little flare hit for Rafael Bautista, and that gives the Nationals run number 12. So Holmes did everything in his power to get through that inning, but a little pop-up falls in a perfect spot down the right field line.
Of course it does. That seems to be the way things are going here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches for the Houston Astros. Feel pretty good about yourself. 2 outs, man on third, and then you get a drop shot like that. Sometimes on defense you try and do a little too much to get that out.
Holmes' second appearance of the spring. That's the first run he has allowed. He appeared in the very first spring training game against the Tigers in Lakeland. Pitch an inning and a third, scoreless. First at bat for Stephen Drew. Daniel Murphy stayed in the game longer than any other regular, just as he did Tuesday in the game between the Nationals and the Astros. Murphy getting a lot of at-bats ramping up to the World Baseball Classic. There's a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bautista the runner on first. We're in the 8th inning. It has been Nationals from the start. A 4-run first, a 5-run 6th. 12-0 is your current score. Up high, 2 balls and a strike. tomorrow against the New York Mets from Port St. Lucie. Charlie Morton makes his first start as an Astro. And he'll be opposed by Noah Syndergaard. Next 2 days, the Astros face Noah Syndergaard and Jacob deGrom.
Love the big leagues.
Hang with them, huh?
I tell you what, when those guys started throwing 95 plus consistently out of the bullpen and starting rotations, that's when they said, "Hey, we got to let you go." I said, "Thank you."
I'm good. Here's a ball hit deep to right field off the bat of Drew, and Kemmer makes a phenomenal catch against the fence. How about that, John Kemmer? 12-0 game, and he goes up on the fence and makes a great play to end the 8th and save 2 runs off the ledger of Brian Holmes. Oh, that might not have gone out, but at least saved a run. 12-0 score. Let's go places. Ballpark of the Palm Beaches, the site of today's game between the Nationals and the Astros. Astros still looking for their first win in their home complex. They lost to these Nationals, who they split the complex with on Tuesday in a walk-off 4-3. Yesterday a 9-5 Marlins victory, and today they're down 12-0, heading to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Left-hander on for the Washington Nationals, Sammy Solis takes over here in the 8th. And that means we will get a chance to see the leadoff hitter, Reed Brignac, who is a career left-handed hitter with over 5,000 plate appearances in his major league and minor league career, hit right-handed. He's attempting to switch hit for the first time in his life. Not in high school, not in the minor leagues, trying it at the big league level for the first time at age 31. He's had 2 at-bats right-handed this spring. He's reached on an error and struck out.
Pretty impressive. Switch hitting is not easy to begin with, but to do it this late in your career and try and reinvent yourself or recreate a position on that roster to get yourself out there, you've got to give him a lot of credit for going out there and working hard to be invited to camp, number one, but to be invited to camp and be given the opportunity to try and hit right-handed.
He said he's just trying to go to the basics hitting right-handed. He's just trying to get the bat to meet the ball and go up the middle, and he fouls one back. It's 0-2.
And you were mentioning that he would do it occasionally on the backfield or in a cage or if he was scuffling left-handed, right?
Yeah, he would do it to try and get his left-handed swing back under control because he feels like he goes back to the basics as a right-handed hitter. But he never took it onto the field before. He would hit with his dad in the cage, occasionally right-handed, but this is it. This is a whole new experiment for him.
Where you're getting used to new breaks on the pitches coming to you. And hey,
save the ball.
That's beautiful. How awesome is that?
Save the ball. His first hit as a right-hand hitter in his professional career. Reed Brignac, who began playing in 2004. They are saving the ball. He's asking for it. Look at him. He's at first base. Save the ball. He wants it.
Alex Cora and a couple guys down in the bench were asking, get that baseball. It's been thrown into the Washington Nationals dugout, but to give you an idea, everybody knows what everybody's going through and how hard this game is. And Alex Cora, a switch hitter in his own right when he played, understands how difficult it is to hit from both sides of the plate. Giving some respect for the young man going out there and getting his first right-handed base knock.
They saved the ball and they threw it into the wrong dugout. That's no good.
Well, those are umpires, man. They don't know what they're doing.
Good for Reed. I've had a chance to know Reed throughout his career. He started in the Rays minor league organization. His family could not be nicer. They're from Louisiana, Sonoma, Louisiana, and You know, he's had his share of at-bats here and there in the major leagues the last 5-6 years, but it has not been an extended stay. So he wanted to kind of extend his versatility and try and hit from the right side for the first time. And Reed Brignac, on March 2nd, 2017, after starting his pro career in 2004, gets his first hit as a right-hander. Good for him.
Well, and one of our keys of the game, make him remember your name. That's one way to do it. And we also talked about Brad Peacock, who started this game, is out of options. He's pitching for 29 other teams as well as the Astros, and so is Reed Brignac. These guys going out there, there's a potential that somebody may have seen that, or a scout is going to send a report back and say, you know what? I think Reed Brignac's right-handed swing plays in the big leagues. He would be a nice addition to our ball club, and he may get picked up.
Reed played with the Braves last year, the Miami Marlins the year before, the Phillies the year before that, Colorado and the Yankees in 2013, and prior to that, his whole career was with the Rays. Derek Fisher, soft pop up to first base. So Fisher, who doubled his last time up, is retired. He's now 1 for 2.
And I'm not saying that he doesn't have an opportunity to make this the Houston Astros big league team, but there's also an opportunity he doesn't. But he is getting recognized for being able to switch hit now because he's got that right-handed hit out of the way.
So 1 out, 1 on, and here's A.J. Reed. Reed provided a late home run for the Astros in yesterday's game. Houston still looking for their first run of the game. A.J. hit an 8th inning home run against the Miami Marlins. Here he is batting in the 8th. It'll be his second at bat. He popped up to third base his first time up. There's a ball ripped but fouled. 1 ball and 1 strike. 9 hits in the game for the Astros. The first hit of the game was a double by George Springer, followed up by a single by Alex Bregman, but then Kyle McGowan got out of a first and third no-out situation. There's been 1 other extra base hit. That was a double by Derek Fisher in the 6th. The rest are singles for Houston. There's a strike. It's 1 and 2. What do you have for highlights so far? I've got Framber Valdez, and I've got Springer 3 hits. And
J.D. Davis still swinging a hot bat.
J.D. Davis with his 3rd hit of the spring.
And that young man in the front row that had the glove early on made the great play.
Oh, we have 3 good defensive plays. We'll show you that next half.
Yeah, the defense has been really good.
Defense has been good. We saw.
He's still hanging out. You never know.
He's got his glove not quite ready, but it's still on his lap. He's already got 1 foul ball. And we saw some good outfield play by the Astros. We'll check that out in our What a Burger, What a Play next half inning. Ground ball right side. Tough hop on the first baseman, Grant, and he gets it over. Grant Green does to the pitcher, Solis covering. And there's 2 away. On the play, Brignac moves over to second. So 2 outs. Runner on second, and John Kemmer, who made one of those plays, a great catch against the fence last half inning, coming to the plate. Kemmer came on as a pinch runner in the 4th. In his lone plate appearance, walked on 4 pitches. Today is our 3rd of 10 spring training broadcasts. We'll have 9 from the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Our 10th broadcast will be against the defending world champion Chicago Cubs up at Minute Maid Park at the end of the month.
Oh, yes, he did.
Strike at the knees, 0-1.
Go if you're going to go. Don't hold it.
Nationals have shown some impressive arms today. Saw a couple of their candidates for the closer role. Blake Trinan and Sean Kelly throw scoreless innings. Dustin Antolin threw a scoreless inning. Michael Broadway. Austin Adams at a USF. Starting pitcher Kyle McGowan, a couple of zeros. There's Mike Maddox. Excellent golfer, excellent pitching coach. Liking what he sees out here today from his arms. 1-1 pitch high in the air to center field. Drifting back on it will be Goodwin, and he will make the play, or that's Bautista, excuse me, who makes the play for the final out of the inning. So we head to the ninth. It's 12-0 Nationals. By Whataburger.
Early on, it was George Springer back at home in center field. You'll see plenty of that in center field. We've seen it plenty all over the place. But right here, Jake Kemmer going back to that wall, making a great play late in the game, not giving up on it. And we got a young fan in the stands who came prepared and made a phenomenal play, going home with a souvenir. But with Kemmer's play out there in right field, what is impressive about that is it's late in the game. It's a little bit of a blowout, and he's still going out there and playing hard. That's what coaches want to see.
Absolutely. Say Brian Holmes at least a run in that inning continuing. Here's Michael Taylor, who made the put out on that final fly ball to center field. He's in center now. Swing and a miss. There's our buddy in the first row.
Look at his shirt.
Got it.
I got it. He was calling it before he even had a chance.
Brian Holmes on for another inning of work. Holmes allowed a run on a couple of hits in the 8th inning. It'll be Michael Taylor, Wilmer Defoe, and Brian Goodwin. 3 hitters that Holmes will start with here in the top half of the 9th inning. 12-0 Washington. They led 4-0 out of the gates as the visiting team. Added a run in the 3rd, a run in the 5th, 5 in the 6th, 1 more in the 8th. And now Holmes ahead of the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Taylor. Fastball upstairs, 2-2. Been meaning to mention this. I've had a chance through the years, you guys, the Houston Astros, I say you guys because in the past I wasn't with the organization. One of the more enjoyable listens I've had on the broadcast, Bill Brown, Alan Ashby, yourself, Julie Morales, the guys that work the pre and post game shows. I've always enjoyed watching you guys, and I've always thought, wow, that's a crew that just does a really good job overall. And I know there's a lot of people watching Astros baseball who have been tuned in for the last 30 years listening to one voice. And it's going to be different this year. And I promise you there will be an adjustment to be made. Even me, who's taken over in this chair for Bill Brown, is going to miss hearing Brownie call Houston Astros baseball. Just natural for all those years. And I am humbled to take the spot of a guy who was just so gracious during this whole process of getting this job as we take a look at Brian Holmes striking out Michael Taylor for the first out. And I will tell Brownie publicly over the air the same thing I've talked to him privately is we want him to join us in the booth as often as he wants, and we encourage him to be a part of our crew as much as he wants, whether it's an inning, 3 innings. It's going to be different without Brownie. He went out in such style, and he's doing his thing now. He and his wife are having a great time this offseason. I know this spring it's different not having Brownie here. And like I said, even though it's different coming from me because I haven't been here, I know a lot of the Astros community are going to miss his work up here.
Yeah, we are. But you know for a fact that he is one of the people that are out there watching these games. He is an Astro fan, probably first and foremost, and then a broadcaster after that. He's meant a lot to the organization. He's meant a lot to me, too. I know he's been generous in offering you information and helping you through the transition, but at the same time, when I was making the transition from field to booth, he was extremely gracious again, offering up plenty of advice. He was a good conversation on air and truly knows the game of baseball. He will be missed, but he will be around, which is a good thing.
He better be. It's an open invite, Brownie. And I know you're going to be down here for some spring training games on the radio side, so the TV booth's only 3 doors down.
Believe it.
You better be here as Brian Goodwin takes a pitch for a ball 1-0. May catch up with Brownie next few days. I'm about to transition all my...
You're making the move.
I'm making the move. All my belongings from the Tampa, Florida area into the Houston, Texas area. That will happen over the next 48 hours or so. You had the good fortune of getting your kids into school and getting all set up before we got into spring training. Things have been a little different for me time-wise, but the move is about to happen to Houston, and we'll have to look for a boot store, the two of us.
Yeah, we're gonna need some sponsors out there to help us make the right choice, right? I don't want to go out there with my first boot purchase or pickup and have it be the wrong boot.
Julia can help us.
Absolutely.
Pitch gets away from Tyler Heineman, and Defoe moves over to second base.
Yeah, if anybody knows their shoes, it's definitely Julia. We know that for a fact over the years. But I mean, picking out boots is a whole different animal for me. I mean, pardon the pun, but but I don't know what to look for as far as, are boots even supposed to be comfortable?
I mean, yeah, they get that way if you wear the same pair. Yeah, if you wear the same pair all your life, like most of us Texans have, of course they get comfortable. It might not be in the beginning, though.
What's the break-in time?
Yeah, I was going to say, you'll have to break them in a little bit. It might take a few wears. I also want to wish you both a happy Texas Independence Day.
Right? What was it, 1836?
Mm-hmm.
Believe it. Happy birthday to Texas.
Todd's like, what's going on?
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah.
I think I just missed the anniversary of the opening of the Union Station also. Was that yesterday?
Go, yeah.
I saw that, yeah.
106.
That was
nice work.
Did you see the pictures that they put up there of the old Union Station and the new? I mean, they pretty almost spot on.
Yeah, it's so cool that it's still the way it used to look. As A.J. Reed makes the play himself, Holmes was over there to cover 2 away. So on the play, Defoe goes to third. And that'll bring up Grant Green. Grant Green came into this game in the 5th inning, and he's getting his 4th at bat. That's kind of telling you how things have gone today.
Isn't that the truth?
2 singles, 2 RBIs, a strikeout, 2 for 3, and batting for the 4th time here in the top half of the 9th inning. 12 runs, 17 hits for the Washington Nationals. No runs, 9 hits. There has not been an error made in this game for either side. Holmes misses wide, 1-0. Ryan Holmes is going to wrap up this game, so it looks like Brad Peacock started the game. Tony Sipp, he went 3 innings, threw about 60 pitches. Tony Sipp pitched 2/3 of an inning. Cy Snead came on for an inning and a third. We're seeing Brian Holmes in his 2nd inning of work. We got to watch Framber Valdez throw an inning. There's a good breaking ball from Holmes. Ball and 2 strikes.
Holmes, for me, is showing pretty good command of 3 different pitches. Fastball, changeup, and now the curveball. You're seeing nice big break to it.
Keegan Ewell pitched in this game. Came on in the 6th inning. Picked up 3 outs while he was in there. But it's been a lot of Washington offense today, unfortunately. It's 21 runs combined the last 2 games against Astros pitching, 9 by the Marlins and 12 by Dusty Baker's crew. Kind of cool look there by Dusty with that flap in the back. There you go. Little sun protection for Dusty Baker.
And of course, the ever-present wristbands from Dusty.
Did he have the toothpick too? I didn't see was the toothpick going?
Yeah, he's got the UL in there.
There you go.
Reference to UL Washington for the Braves back in the day. Played with a toothpick in his mouth. A little bit safer to have that thing behind a net.
Holmes with a 3-2 count on Green, who stays alive.
It's a veteran move to have the little flap out the back to protect the neck from the sun.
It's got to be a unique. I've not seen anybody else with that hat. It's got to be custom made, right?
I would imagine that.
Or else somebody else would have one.
Yeah. Or the equipment manager over there is doing overtime.
Ball 4. Green draws a walk. That'll bring up the catcher, Jonathan Solano. Appreciate Jeff Luno and A.J. Hinch joining us on the broadcast. A.J. always in self-deprecating mode, saying he never got to play 3 days in a row, so he appreciated being on our telecast 3 days in a row.
He's got a sense of humor about him. That is for sure.
I could tell the first few times we spoke it was going to be enjoyable, and he has done nothing to make me change my mind. If anything, I'm even more excited about working with him this year. Line drive off the glove of White into left field. Solano reaches on a base hit. That was a bullet. Tyler tried to go up and make a jumping catch, but couldn't do so, and now his number is the total runs scored by the Nationals, 13. So Solano with a couple of base hits since he's been in there.
Everybody in that Astros dugout just wishing that Tyler White had enough to get up there and make that play and end this inning right here. But it's still going.
Andrew Stevenson gets another at bat. He's faced a couple of lefties his last 2 times up. Actually, he faced Holmes last time up. Got buzzed on a fastball up and in. Ended up striking out. This ball into left center field, and that will be the final out of the inning. So we head to the bottom half of the ninth. Astros down 13-zip. To the bottom half of the ninth inning on the final of our 3 consecutive spring training telecasts on Root Sports. 3rd of 10 in all, 9 to spring. A fan who caught the foul ball earlier, chilling out, looking for his favorite team to score a run or so here in the 9th inning. As the new pitcher for the Washington Nationals takes over, Rafael Martin will pitch the bottom half of the 9th inning. Not a save situation.
13. No, not by a while. They need a couple of field goals, a touchdown.
Tyler White will get an at-bat here. Also, Tyler Henneman will get his first at-bat, as well Ramon Laureano. Those are the first 3 scheduled for the Astros. So the hitting starts for the Astros today. Springer 3 for 3. We mentioned him a number of times today. Tyler White sends one deep to left field, all the way back. Ball's gone. There goes the shutout as Tyler White hits a home run and gives the Astros their first run of the game here in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
Just a good old-fashioned ambush right there. Tyler White opening up the front side, pulling the hands through and driving that ball out to left field. I like it. Why not?
4th home run of the spring for the Astros.
Get yours.
Got a lot of that. Stevenson gave it a look, but ran out of room. So the Astros finally on the board is now a 13-1 game. That's hit number 10 for Houston. We're starting to mention the hitting stars. Springer we've mentioned with those 3 hits. Alex Bregman with a couple of hits. And now we can add Tyler White to the list with a home run. Also a double by Derek Fisher. The rest of the hits have been singles today. Tyler Heineman, the catcher, gets his first at bat. 1-1 the count. For the Nationals, a big day off the bench for Jonathan Solano with 3 hits and a couple of RBIs, as well as Grant Green off the bench with a couple of hits and a couple of RBIs. Jason Worth with a home run, a couple of hits, 3 RBIs, and then Bryce Harper has hit the only home run to the right of center field in this stadium in 3 games. It was a pretty impressive blast to right center field. He went 1 for 2 with a couple of RBIs. That's where we stand, 13-1. Heineman, who came on for Centeno. Centeno played a lot in this game. Ended up catching all the way through the top half of the 7th inning when he caught Framber Valdez and then left the game. Heineman draws the walk. Spent last year at AAA Fresno, and Tyler will draw the walk with nobody out. Rafael Martinez come on and allowed a home run and a walk.
Yeah, Tyler White might have scared him out of the zone.
And this will be first at bat of the game for Ramon Laureano, taking over for Jake Marisnick. In left field, called strike, 0-1. Astros started the spring 2-1, in danger, very likely, of losing their 3rd consecutive game, all here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. There's a swing and a miss. Martin comes back after a home run and a walk to strike out Laureano, and there's 1 away. Alejandro Garcia, the batter. Fastball for strike 1, 0-1. Garcia's second at bat of the day. Breaking ball a little bit inside, 1-1. In the air foul, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Garcia. Bregman's still in the dugout.
Well, Carlos Beltran called it. This guy is a baseball guy. Not too often you see those guys linger around after they've played in these ball games, but Alex Bregman, a younger guy, sticking around, but I think it's a credit to the fact he loves the game and he wants to be around it, still learning, picking the brain of the manager. I wonder if Josh Reddick and Carlos Beltran are waiting in the clubhouse to give him a little more grief. Maybe that's why he's avoiding it.
Could be a safe zone.
You need to have those.
He's in a little safe place there next to the skipper. Couple of walks in this inning. Not exactly what Mike Maddox was hoping for when Rafael Martin came out of the bullpen. Home run, 2 walks, strikeout in between. So Garcia on first, and here's Anibal Sierra. Good breaking ball. 0-1. By the time we come back March 17th, some guys will be back from the World Baseball Classic, but the guys whose teams advance to the next round will still be playing in that. However, you're going to start seeing more innings out of your starters. You're going to start seeing more innings out of your guys who start in the field. And there's a swing and a miss, and so we've had a couple of walks and a couple of strikeouts after the home run allowed by Martin. Basically, you'll see the regulars a little more often on our telecast beginning the 17th and beyond the rest of the spring.
Yeah, a lot of things can change. Like you said, there's going to be a little more of a solidified lineup because these guys are going to be wanting 4 or 5 ABs per game. They may not play the entire game on defense, but it's all about the at-bats going into the regular season. And for us and a lot of fans at home, it'll give Colin McHugh, Lance McCullers, Dallas Keuchel a chance to build that strength, get that arm back, get that arm ready, and hopefully be into some of these spring training games. So when we do come back, we can see them in live action, which would be great.
Reid Brignac, who picked up his first professional base hit, even though spring training stats don't count, we're going to count it. First professional base hit, right-handed, his last time up. He's a lifetime left-hand hitter who has adopted the switch hitting style this spring. Counts 1-1, back to his natural side lefty against Rafael Martin, the right-hander. They saved the baseball after his hit, but threw it into the Nationals dugout. Not sure if Reid ever got that. It's 1-2. Down to the final strike here today for the Astros. At least they're not shut out, thanks to Tyler White with a home run to start the inning.
Might be the first baseball ever thrown out of a game in spring training.
He was asking for it, too. That was pretty funny. 2-pitch misses. It's 2-2. If you've played this many games and you're at this stage of your career and you've decided to switch it, that's a big moment for him.
And again, understanding how hard this game is, the respect of the guys to get that baseball back for him. It may have been a little bit silly, but at the same time, it's showing him respect for all the hard work and the challenge of going out there and trying to do what he's doing.
Counts full, 2 outs. Runners will be on the move, so any base hit should score another run for the Astros. Rafael Martin throwing his 24th pitch of this 9th inning. Swing and a miss, and that will do it. A day where the Nationals started strong and kept pouring it on. 13-1 the final score. They defeat Houston. We'll have more right after this.